the YouTube on live go button.
Okay. Well, just so you know, I pressed it, and I was just letting you cook. I was letting you go off, pop
No,
off, Queen.
I was trying to find the most jumbled way to say that possible.
Well, it was the intro to the streams.
Okay, so Oodie, you've been talking a lot about a certain someone.
Well, it's someone that I love to talk about so much I can't even stand it.
Yeah, and it's definitely not a certain someone.
Well, it's definitely not Sasuke, but it is David.
I was gonna say we're not talking about Ikimoto this time.
I was like, what was the segue there? I got confused.
Well, to be fair, my topic mentioned Sasuke. But Oodie,
wow.
I hear you've got 28 points about this character that you're thinking about.
I do indeed. Some longer than others. One of which, of all 28, there's one that just stands above the rest. Like to Kingdom Come and back that I know you'll just be down for, period, point blank. It's the equivalent of the... Okay, it might not be like narratively as good, but like I just satisfying.
Now. So this is a rewrite you're doing.
Yes. 28 points of a singular rewrite of like moments.
It's okay. This is also funny. We've been calling this the Daemon topic all this time. I don't even know why we've been calling it, considering the start of this is how we would rewrite Mamushi. So this is the Mamushi topic.
Well, it's the Mamushi versus Daemon fight from chapter 32. To the Vortex.
Okay.
So there you go.
I can't believe you managed. I'm very curious what you cooked up because you thought of 28 points about that fight.
Well, I did want to just add on is before we forget it, and the only reason I'm doing this last is because I don't want to forget it, but because I ran out of room, because I wrote 27 points, or maybe it was 26, but then I thought of two more after, and it was at the character limit, and you had already typed, and then it was days ago, and I had already typed, so I had to just like, the reason I'm doing this last because I just started to forget it. Well, it does. This is the last thing. The only reason I want to do this is because it's just on a completely different topic entirely, just a different rewrite to where I just have to do this part so I don't forget. Like it's just intersecting into a different rewrite. And it's after this, so I just okay.
Just like your last sentence.
Yeah, exactly, completely irrelated. So Kamui, no matter what happens in like chapter 33 or going forwards, it doesn't matter what direction Ikimoto goes because this general idea can all fit into it. And if you think that like these 28 things all together is too much, that's fine. That's completely okay. You don't have to do all 28. I'm doing 28 individual suggestions, and you could pick like 0.3, 17, 22. Oh, I only liked those three. Those are the ones I want. I completely chose those off the top of my head. It's not those in particular. Yeah, okay. Just to make sure. But
I was under the assumption.
Choose whatever combination you like, or just any singular idea on their own. This is too much for Ikimoto? Perfect. Fix that too. This chapter's pacing fixed.
Okay, I remember. I remember that when I read that. I read that part in particular. Too much for Ikimoto? Fix that too. Just to rewrite Ikimoto himself.
Exactly, just rewrite the quality of the manga to where it's good.
To where he can do that.
Exactly. Okay, so now that we've started with the end, which technically could have been at the beginning, and there's nothing wrong with that. So how we would rewrite Mamushi. So, Kamui, I think the writing in chapter 32, I think the setup for the moment to shine, so here's the idea, is that I was like talking about this idea. In fact, I'll just say this word forward because this is basically what I was about to say anyways. So I think the writing for the Mamushi versus Daemon fight was set up for the moment to shine. And that moment did happen. It just wasn't anything special. Again, you've heard me say this in a couple previous streams. Also, my camera on? It's not. I don't know.
We
Sometimes
should
my
also, while you're at it, you might as well just double check the stream chat to make sure people
Might as
hear
well.
us. If we're gonna take the moment to pause anyway.
Well, shout out Darishikage.
Arashikage. But now he is the Arashikage. He's
Oh,
the Arashikage. He's
well,
upgraded.
if you ignore the capitalization, it's Darishikage.
Darshikage.
Darishikage. Why are we
Now,
like this?
the Arashikage now with your official, new, licensed, legal, extra legal name. Comment
Yes.
why you changed it. What character growth, what character arc did you undergo, unlike Chocho, to make your name change?
But that is sad. And I'm pretty sure since he didn't say anything, I think we're good. I don't know why, but sometimes it's just my camera light is on, even though my camera clearly isn't. Not that it's a problem.
Oh,
anything,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know why it does that.
I think it's because, like, you had... Sometimes if you, like, had the camera on, but even though you're not using it now, if it wasn't, like, fully shut off in some setting, or I don't know. I've seen that happen before, so...
Yeah, fair enough. It's fine, because I clicked on Facecam, and it, like, turned off and then back on within, like, half a second. It's like... It just proved it. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, so I think the fight was good, but not great. And that's like a problem because this fight was the fight that should have been perfect. You know, this is Madara versus the Alliance. You know, if it's good, not great, we have a problem there. So,
I mean, honestly, I think I said this before. On one hand, I agree. But on the other hand, I'm hard pressed to say it's good because we're happy that Damon's dunking on Mamushi, but all that really happened was the bare minimum and expectation and nothing more. Like, I don't expect Madara, after all the hype of his legendary status, to struggle against the no-name random Alliance shinobi.
yeah.
Obviously, he was gonna, like, beat them. We don't even know who they are. Why are we like that? I don't know anything to Madara. But he didn't just beat them. He beat them in the coolest ways possible. He caught the kunai, ripped the paper bomb tag off, and slapped it on the dude's face and did a backflip away. He did like all this random wacky shit that Madara doesn't even do. He just did them and made them look really cool. That part of that might be anime only, but I don't care for this point.
Yeah.
He didn't just beat them. He beat them in the most disrespectful ways possible. He did first of all, summon a meteor. Ridiculous. Why does he even have this jutsu? What is this jutsu? Nobody knows. It's random, it's weird, but it's also really freaking cool. And then he had the balls, after they put in all the effort to stop the meteor, to be like, well, what are you gonna do about the second one, Onoki? You know, like, he really flexed. And David didn't do that. I'm sorry. All he did was... honestly, to some extent, you could even argue, and now Kimimaro beating the Naruto Shadow Clones wasn't meant to be Madara versus the Alliance.
Yeah.
In terms of its, like, hype. It wasn't meant to be as much, but it was still, like, similar idea, I guess. But I would honestly argue Kimimaro, in at least some ways, did the same concept, fighting the Shadow Clones, but cooler still. Part of that's because we didn't know his powers yet. I know. But, like, he's also doing the, like, I shall show you the... He's, like, hyping up the dance. Like, do you want to see the Camellia dance next? Like, he's doing, like, a little bit of cool. He's just calling Naruto trash. Like, he's doing the talking, and obviously all the narrative stuff with Sasuke and Orochimaru and stuff. And he's showing off his cool bones. And he's not just, like... I hate to say it. Damon feels... Even though he's not trying that hard, and even though he technically has more incentive to rush to Ada because it's Ada and he cares more than beating up a Naruto clone, but like, Kimimaro is doing Kimimaro doesn't have sensory. I want to preface that before I say this. He doesn't have sensory, at least as far as we've been privy to. But he's doing the eyes closed, effortlessly dodge, like, thing where he's just swinging around, like, he's doing it as effortlessly as he can possibly look as he does all this cool shit. Like, technically, he's doing it more effortlessly than Madara did. Daemon has to like rush back to Ada, grab this like it feels like he's trying hard. He's not doing the same thing is my point. And even though Daemon technically did body Mamushi as he should, they didn't do the effortlessly stop coolest moves of all time thing. And that's why I'm hard pressed to call it good. I hate to say it, it's serviceable. It's not bad. They did the bare minimum. But compared to what we have the similar comparisons to,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's
technically
exactly
Daemon
it.
versus Code didn't really do any of these things we just said either. But at least versus Code, it feels like they're like, oh, because we're hyping up Code, he's the strongest guy of all time. And then it's like, oh my god, Damon's just bodying him. And it's not even close. And again, I understand Mamushi could technically be stronger than Code, despite the fact that base Chocho could blow his head off, and I got a whole rant about that. But it doesn't. Part of me thinks Daemon versus Code showed off Daemon's power better than Daemon versus Mamushi. Even though Daemon's technically trying more, because he's actually using his reflection at times, and he's doing cool things. He does the backhanded grab the Ada thing, but like, again, I just got similar comparisons. And technically, again, Kimimaro versus the Naruto clones, it honestly has, I don't want to say it has no right doing this, but it has no right being the stomp fest of coolness that it is, because unlike Madara, where you're building him up for like 60 billion years before his reveal, and you really got to cash in on his debut here. Kimimaro does have some build up. He does have build up, but he doesn't have like 800 years of build up, and he didn't need to be the best thing of all time. He just was.
Exactly.
And Daemon, it's like, again, he's already had his power display versus Code. I mean, this is his Two Blue Vortex. I mean, okay, you can see he had his Two Blue Vortex debut versus Sarada. It wasn't really, that was a teaser. Like, this is Daemon's technically biggest fight yet. Ada's actually being threatened. There's like 50 billion Mamushis. He's supposed to be strong if we just ignore all the Chocho scenes. And he's not doing the things that people didn't need to do before. Like,
I love the way you just said that last thing. Kimimaro didn't need to be the best thing of all time, he just was. That's the difference, because Madara, he needed to be the best thing of all time, and he was. For Daemon, he originally didn't need to be the best thing of all time, he just was. But now, after the beginning of this latest chapter, the way they hyped him up, that's now making him needing to be the best thing of all time. And like
and I don't think he was.
Exactly. Like he did what he needed to do, but he wasn't the best of all that.
And for another comparison, I know it's not the identical in terms of the numbers game here. Well, I guess technically in the anime it is, but we'll ignore that for a moment. Manga. Jigen stop bested when he went into Karma 2, Naruto and Sasuke. He technically didn't need to do as much as he did. He delivered and went beyond, essentially, in terms of that concept. And he did it coolly. He showed off. He flexed everything. And you're getting the hype in the battle, like you know beforehand. Okay, it's the horn guy that we just saw, the Otsutsuki. Oh my god, there's a connection. And then he's whipping it up versus Naruto. And then we're seeing the display of that power firsthand. So it's similar to Daemon, like, it's in a different way they're hyping him up, but it's the same concept. And then he delivers. And then, again, Daemon did technically deliver. And it's part of the problem, and I'll admit, it's a huge part of the problem. We're going to come back to this every day of the year for the next 30 years. But it's juxtaposed with base Chocho. And I'm sorry, you can't get around that. You did it. It's too late. And Ikebana will never escape it. And I've only thought of more and more reasons why it's the worst thing of all time, as you'll see in a rant when we get to it at some point. But you juxtapose that with this, you're already starting at a huge loss. The only thing you can't do is make Daemon stop look so extremely beyond what we saw from like Delta, Sarada, Boruto, and Kawaki that we're like, oh my god, it doesn't even matter. And yes, he did way beyond everyone else. He defeated like 50 Mamushis in less than a minute, or 100 Mamushis, 150, whatever the number was. I think it was 150 because they went from 200 to I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Or it's 200 to 100. Either way, he technically did way more than everyone else. But again, it's like, was that enough? I mean, I'm still sitting here thinking, I mean, gee, Kawaki has a horn steady the karma he hasn't used yet. I mean, I'm hard pressed to say that Kawaki couldn't perform basically the same feat.
Like,
Same
do
with
we
Boruto
even
if he
need
ever used
Daemon
to.
yet? Like,
Exactly. You know, it's like it doesn't. No, I don't think we did. I mean, technically Kawaki overheated, so yeah, technically maybe we did. But like, I mean, I don't know if Kawaki would overheat faster if he used Karma 2. I mean, there's still questions I have. Can Boruto use the horn? Like, he should be able to if Mobushiki's giving him free access to all of the Karma? Well, if the answer is yes, then like, we saw what Borushiki did versus Code. Massive Rasengan fire! Rasengan fire! He did like 30 massive Rasengan shoots, whatever. I mean, it's like, bro, if he's just doing that left and right all over there's all those Mabushis gone. It's just, did we need Daemon?
yeah.
I don't think so.
By the way,
We shouldn't have,
Kamui,
at least.
unrelated.
And that already ruins it, because in terms of, sorry to keep going, but like, in terms of the sound, okay, ignoring Kidomaru's hacks for a moment, or actually, okay, I was gonna say, in terms of the Sound 4 versus the Kyuubi Naruto clones, we do need Kimimaro, but honestly, I hate to say it, but technically, probably not, because Tayuya, AoE, Genjutsu, Naruto's bad at that. Jirobo's boulders, okay, the Naruto should be able to dodge a lot of them, but like technically, if one of those hits, it hits like 50 at once. Kidomaru's webs, unfortunately, Naruto has no counters, so, okay, unfortunately, maybe everyone but Sakon here, because Sakon's a much more one-on-one fighter than that, but, so disregard that point. Go ahead and say your thing.
Oh, I'm glad that you kept going with your thing, because my thing was unrelated. So, Kawaki aside, now that we've done random miscellaneous Kawaki topics and
Yeah, so back
level
to
50.
finishing the intro to point one.
Yeah, so back to Daemon. So
I suspect 12:30 it is.
okay, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
And I did just want to say more things. So it's like you were saying, it's not just saying something that happens, it's showing it. Because Sasuke doing the fireball, fire cell jutsu on the rooftop, he took out like 100 Naruto clones all at once. And so, yeah, Kimimaro, he took out like 100 clones at once, but there's a night and day difference between how they do it versus what they do. That's
okay. In addition to the how and the effortlessness of it, there's also the fact that Kimimaro took out 10 times as many with QB amps. And
yeah, I'm
effortless.
obviously I'm ignoring that context to make it sound more ridiculous. But I think the idea behind it is the effort it takes to do what they did. Because again, Kimimara's taking them all out hand by hand, like one at a time. For Sasuke, the Naruto clones are all standing still, grouped together. You know, like they're pulling the canonical Mamushi to where they're too dumb. They're flocking together, and Sasuke's taking them all out with one attack. All Sasuke did was one fireball jutsu. It didn't matter if Naruto had shadow clones there or not. Sasuke was going to aim that same fireball jutsu at the original Naruto with the Rasengan regardless. So the other shadow clones made literally zero impact in that moment for Sasuke. Whereas for Kimimaro, that's literally the point.
Yeah.
So that's also like part of the difference. But yeah, it's the night and day difference between saying Madara took out the whole alliance as opposed to the experience behind watching the episode and all of those moments combined. It's so fundamentally different. But also, it's like you were describing. I don't know if like spectacle or impact or stakes would be the best way to describe it. But like it's the difference between, oh no, the whole city is gonna blow up versus, oh no, the whole country's gonna blow up versus, oh no, the whole world's gonna blow up. Or oh no, the whole universe is gonna blow up. Like there's different like levels there. But like to an extent, it can mean the same thing to the audience depending on what the like the I guess the stakes would be set as like why do we care for each of those levels?
Personally, I am gonna somewhat I'm not just gonna say Ikimoto. I'm just gonna say Boruto in general. I am not a fan of over reliance on the physical, technical stake, so world versus the village. I
Yeah.
don't like over relying on that, and that's for most of Boruto. A lot of it, at least. It is just the world, the world, the world, the world, the world. The world's not changing. It's not more world than it was before. For Naruto, it was progressively more and more. And I understand. Well, Boruto's using Otsutsuki, and that's why they're doing. I get that, but again, it's like I'm sick of the world. The world hasn't meant. The world's only meant less to me as we've seen less of the world. At least with Naruto, well, we're gonna bring in the world. We start to see more of the world. We get the
Yeah.
Cloud Village, the Sand Village. We're actually doing that. We didn't get in the Sand Village, by the way. We just got next door. You know,
And they're making us
I
care
don't care
about the
about the
world
world.
because the
I don't
world
even
cares
know it
about the
exists.
world. Exactly,
Say that
like
again, sorry.
Gaara's speech with like, oh, the Akatsuki's hurt us all, so they all care. We know they care. They're all gonna
We
join
see it.
together.
I understand it's minimal, but they show us the village is being destroyed. Like we see the village is there at least.
And then Onoki's speech to Naruto's shadow clone right before fighting the Madara, the Five Kage versus Madara. He's saying, now the times have changed and all this, and Naruto needs to trust that. Like, it's so good with this whole like idea that we're presenting here. Just
And again, like you know, you could say obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Naruto story made us care as much about the Stone Village as the Leaf Village. I'm not gonna ever claim that, but they made us care about it. They put in time to make us care about some stone ninja, mostly Onoki.
But that's part
like,
of
again,
it, because part of it is you don't just care about the other villages, you care about the characters who care about the villages. Like Lady Chio's the best example of that, when she's reviving Gaara and she's talking to Naruto about how like the shinobi system was in the past versus how it is now, and how she's changed as a result of that. Same with Onoki, and how she's going to believe in Naruto now, and that's why she's doing what she's doing. And again, that all comes back to the way she lived her life in the past, which goes back to the world.
yeah, you know, and again, like even if we want to ignore those aspects, again, so the Sand Village obviously gets a head start with part one. Let's just ignore all of part one for a moment. Honestly, we're just gonna throw it out as much as that does for it. Kazekage Rescue. We get stuff from a lot of characters actually. We get a lot of like Conqueror Gaara bonds, flashbacks, and in the moment about how much they care about each other. Gaara is important to the whole village, how much the whole village cares about their Kazekage Gaara, and why that's important. Granny Chiyo, Sasuke's a rogue ninja, but still ties back to the Sand Village. They're giving us a lot for a lot of these Sand Ninja to make us care about the characters in the Sand Village, and then by extension, the Sand Village itself. And then in the war arc in Five Kage Summit's dealing aside from Data as the Rogue Ninja, but mostly Five Kage Summit, and then mostly the War Arc, Stone Village. Okay, for the Cloud Village, it starts in the Pain Arc when Sasuke goes to Killer Bee. I'm not going to count Todon Koxu versus Yukito for that. And then obviously Five Kage Summit and War Arc. Again, more with these characters, mostly A and B, but again, characters, even Darui actually, even Omawi, at least in the filler. More with these characters, okay, we are at least somewhat care about the Cloud Village. The Mist Village, that goes way back to the freaking land of waves. I don't care if he's a rogue ninja. Zabuza made us love the Mist Village before it was cool. And then, obviously, backstories with Kisame's huge. Learning about the Blood Mist Village with the fourth Mizukage Yagura, Maze being involved. I know Maze not the deepest character of all time.
Kisame is almost the inversion to where it's the world getting us to care about the character. Same thing with Hidan, and arguably Kakuzu.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, obviously in their case, a lot of it just comes with the data book, and that's how we get the information. I know Kishimoto's in the hospital, we understand. But if we take all of the series into account, then you have that. But we can dance around the Rosie, whatever, the ring around the Rosie. I can't think of the freaking the fair ride. I can't think of what it's called right now. But it's on the little horse.
Ferris wheel.
The one that the horses, the horses that go around in a circle.
Yeah, the carousel. The carousel.
I feel like I had a different name when I'm thinking of, but regardless,
the teacups. What else goes around and around?
Okay, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna start with Village. Who did we skip? Oh, the Leaf Village. I skipped. That's who I skipped. The Leaf Village. All right, so I need to explain that one. Okay, and then so then let's think about Boruto. It's all the Boruto in the manga. We'll start with the manga. The Cloud Village. Killer Bee wasn't even in the Cloud Village. I'm not counting that. The Sand Village. I also didn't really do anything with Killer Bee there. Okay, the Sand Village. We weren't in the Sand Village.
We were in the land of wind.
I'm just gonna
desert.
give it. I'm just gonna give it to Ikimaru here. I'm gonna give him the Sand Village as undeservedly as it is. I'm gonna give it to him. Cloud Village, nothing. Stone Village, nothing. Mist Village, nothing.
Unless you want to count the technically Ao has backstory, but that's not really Mist Village anything.
Did he even mention? He might have mentioned Blood Mist like once. I
don't know. He's probably mentions it in the anime rather than the manga, but in the anime, that's
do the manga only readers know he's from the Mist Village? I don't remember if it's in. I have to double check. It's like, and we're really grasping at straws. I mean, because obviously with Ao, it's not even really. I mean, it does tie back to his Mist Ninja. You know what? Screw it. Let's give him it. First of all, that's part one, not Two Blue Vortex. Second of all, whereas the Sand Village, it's Two Blue Vortex, not part one. So we're in freaking two different manga series for these. And we still just have absolutely nothing for the Stone Village and the Cloud Village. It's they're not making us care about anywhere else. And frankly, this does sound bad. They're not making us care about the Leaf Village either. The best argument, this is the worst thing of all time.
Is Juro?
The best argument for how they're making us care about the Leaf Village in Two Blue Vortex, in my opinion, is how much Jura, the essential antagonist, cares about the Leaf Village. Because frankly, Jura's the only one that talk about how much he loves the bookstore off limits. We know Jura cares about the bookstore. I could not name a single other person in the Leaf Village who gives a shit about that bookstore. Okay, I guess Chocho cares about the unnamed pancake shop we've never seen. I'm not going to count it. We've never even seen it. They haven't mentioned Ichiraku Ramen once. The Thunderburger? God, does Igimon even know it exists? Like, they're not giving us places or anything to care about.
True.
It's like, I mean, are they even making us care about the Leaf Village?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if someone called it a cluster of huts.
Yeah. And not Orochimaru this time. I mean, frankly, the number one thing for making us care about the Leaf Village here is going to be the flash forward scene. And I'm going to include this, again, part one. When Kawaki Naruto is sitting on the Hokage rooftop and they're looking down the village and talking about stuff like that, I'll give them that. But again, it's like, I mean, how many freaking times do they have to stress the importance of the village to every single character of all time in Naruto to make us care? They can't stop talking about how much everyone cares about everything in the Leaf Village.
Exactly.
Naruto can't get ramen out of his mouth. Hiruzen can't stop talking about the Will of Fire. It's just like
literally. And how great the Hokage are.
How much it matters.
Exactly. Everything about the Leaf Village is bright and peaceful and warm and light and the best thing
Boruto
ever.
said more about destroying trees than he has about the village.
Trees are supposed to... Yeah, isn't it supposed to be the village hidden in the leaves and Boruto's trying to destroy trees?
Also, actually, now that I think about it, Boruto should have been trying to destroy those trees in the Mitsuki fight because of how much he hates trees, apparently.
Oh my god.
All that's to say, yeah, the stakes in the world, it's technically higher, but to me, I don't care. Daemon doesn't care either, apparently, nor does Ada. Frankly, I hate to say it, but the fact that some of these characters don't care doesn't help us care. It only makes us want to see it just for the meme, and that's not good.
So I would argue this is where this matters, though, because going to like the Kimimaro versus Madara difference versus similarities, you could argue that they're doing the same thing despite the different like stakes levels that we just described. But because I would argue because of where the power scaling is consistently set to be in Naruto and Shippuden, and that's why it matters, because it's consistent in Naruto and Shippuden, unlike Two Blue Vortex. Because of where it's set to be, I feel like both Kimimaro and Madara are similarly eclipsing that power system to do something that we basically never thought possible before. They're gapping it, they're going to a different level. This is like the new standard that they're setting in a way, which I think is so cool because they're both doing it. I would argue the difference here is that whereas for Madara, that's literally the point, as he's actively doing it, it's the spectacle, that's the focus. For Kimimaro, that's more like in the background, which arguably makes it more impressive in some regards. It's like a passive thing. It's not the focus.
You could even argue, I won't necessarily argue this, but you definitely can. And I just realized something.
Can
you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I was like, did I ever even switch to my wireless? Clearly I did, because you can hear me. But I was like, I don't remember ever switching this. I'm like, have I been saying nothing for a long time? But anyway, you could technically make, again, I'm not going to, but you could make the argument, but how much what Kimimaro is standing in the way of here, he's the coffin. Like Naruto, like it's the most important thing of all time. I mean, technically to the end of the series, it is the most important thing to Naruto is getting Sasuke back. And Kimimaro is preventing this from happening. This means the world to Naruto and then by extension us. Not only have we been with Sasuke like every single chapter up until this point, but we just know how much he means to Naruto, Kakashi,
And
Sakura,
it's also
even
been
Ino.
It's been reinvigorated how much it means to me once again, by the way, because I just got to the penultimate episode of the time slip arc, and like every episode of that arc is just Naruto going on and on about how his friend left the village and he needs to get stronger to bring him. And every episode, Naruto yaps about it for like a 5-minute scene, and every scene of it is the best thing of all time.
And that's why I said I'm not necessarily going to make the argument, because obviously Madara's arrival shakes up this battle in very important ways, and it's obviously going to affect the whole world. But honestly, I would still at least slightly argue that Kimimaro's standing as an obstacle here is a bigger deal than Madara in terms of the relevant stake at the time and how much it matters to both the characters and the audience, because Kimimaro is making it impossible for Naruto right now. Naruto just can't beat him.
Yeah.
And he will not get Sasuke. Obviously, Lee allows him to have a chance later on, but like in the moment, Naruto just does not have a chance. He just can't. He can't do the most important thing to him literally up until the end of the series. It remains that important to him. He can't do it. With Madara, you get the 5 Kage arriving to have a chance. Obviously, they get proven wrong. They didn't actually have a chance. But we, the characters, we, the audience, and the characters think they have a chance. So I could argue that Kimimaro is a bigger deal in terms of the relevant stake. And that relevant stake, honestly speaking, Sasuke matters more to the audience than the world we've never met in Boruto.
Yeah.
And it's a much smaller scale, obviously.
It's not just the confidence. It's that they're convincing the audience through their confidence. They don't just believe it on an emotional level. They truly believe. They're fighting to win. They think they can.
And they think they will based off the things that they've been showing. And we, the audience, think, okay, this is going to be a close, tough battle. Yeah. And even for a while, we think it is because Madara is sandbagging the whole fight until you reveal
this isn't just like Lee randomly showing up. And it doesn't matter if it's Kimimaro or Shibai in front of him. Lee hasn't watched how Kimimaro fights. He's saying, leave it to me, Naruto. I got this guy. It's going to be a cinch, easy peasy. I'll catch up with you in no time. Same thing like all of the Leaf Ninjas said up till this point. For Onoki and like everyone else, they've been watching and fighting Madara up until the point where it's the 5 Kage versus Madara when they tell Naruto to go. So they know.
Yeah, so based on what they're seeing, they think. And then obviously, based off what we, the audience, see, we think they have a chance because obviously Madara hasn't revealed his full power. We've never seen it. We don't know what it is. If what we're seeing is like, yeah, this is going to be a close bet. But again, when Lee shows up, we don't actually think he's gonna win this at all, because we probably think Kyuubi Naruto might be stronger than Lee. Yeah, I don't care if Kimura says he's not as easy. Oh, do we believe that?
And especially if you haven't read that Rise Like a Phoenix databook statement or whatever.
It didn't come out at the time it was being released anyway.
Well, there you go. The first weekly chapter readers
they don't believe that. And even if they do think Lee is stronger, it's like we just saw how effortlessly Kimura did that. But we know this dude has got a curse mark that he's not using. What chance does Lee possibly? We know he doesn't stand a chance.
Last
He's
we
got one of
saw,
the
Lee
worst
was
chances of all the
struggling to
people
walk
here.
up a flight of stairs.
You know, exactly. Yeah. So no matter how we look at it, and what things we ignore for Lee here, it's like we don't think he stands a chance. And
Neji's
that's
stronger
huge
than
because of-
Lee, and Lee called Kidomaru stronger than him, and Kimimaro was stronger than the Sound 4 combined.
No, exactly, effortlessly so. So it's like we don't think he stands a chance, which means the audience is not only waiting for when Lee's gonna die, someone we care about, but after that point, when Kimimaro catches up to Naruto, you know, it's a miracle when the Sand Trio arrives, and it's meant to be that way.
Exactly. That's the thing that could happen.
And all that's to say, you know, again, I don't like over relying on the world and just the bigger spectacle, because that means nothing to me. And if anything, it turns me off slightly, not inherently, but slightly, because frankly, it suggests to me you're over relying on that in a lot of cases. But two, it's harder to make me care about. I'm not going to count the Naruto franchise as the world here, because obviously I care about the Naruto universe, like in that sense. But like, I mean, like within the world, like it's harder to make you care about the world than it is about the Ichiraki ramen shop. And this is true in real life. I don't care about politics. There's a lot of shit going on right now that I couldn't care less about. But damn, you bet your ass I care about the fact that my used Super Smash Bros. Melee disc doesn't work that well, and I'm returning that for an exchange tomorrow. I care way more about that. And that applies in storytelling too. You're gonna care more about these. I care more about Kawaki's base than I do if the Cloud Village gets blown up. Why? Because the Boruto story made me care more about a broken base than about an entire civilization. That's just the reality. Is that a problem inherently? No. But was Kawaki's base ever threatened? No. And that's where the contrast becomes a problem. The Cloud Village, by extension, the whole world is threatened, and just technically the base is threatened by that. But like, you get my point.
Yeah. And okay, first of all, you just made Sour really angry, but it's all the Sours in the world
Well,
aside.
he's always angry. It's right in the name.
It's just hilarious to just hear like how baffling of a statement. I cared more about a pot than the whole civilization, but that's actually just like normal and true and completely valid. And I think it is completely valid just in general, because like think about how many civilizations get wiped out daily that aren't humans. Like an ant nest, if a little kid stomps on it, that just genocided the ants. like what, did that kid not watch Attack on Titan? Does he not realize what he did? Rumbling, basically, all in one step. Or like a termite nest. Oh, you take them all out, there you go. It's like the same idea. But yeah, and just in general, it's just you care about the things that the stories make you care about, and you don't care about the things that you don't really care about, or even don't know about. Like if there's life on Mars in Naruto, and Mars blew up in Naruto, we don't care, because we don't even know if there's life on Mars in the first
Even
place.
if we know there is life on Mars, we haven't met that life on Mars.
Exactly.
in
So
any
why would I
capacity.
care?
Exactly.
Like,
And-
general empathy is different from, like, specific sympathy or whatever.
Exactly. Like, you care on the general level, but like for a story, that's not enough.
Like, I can be sad about it and for them, but I'm not personally sad because of them, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. Like, like genuinely, if the Stone Village blows up, the only characters I could possibly say, okay, Onoki's dead in the anime, so you can't count him. You got Kurosuchi and Akatsuchi.
Oh,
and
no.
How much do I really care about them? Not that
Yeah,
much. I
the girl
don't
that's
care.
been mean to Naruto since forever.
If the Mist Village gets blown up, how much do I care? None, because Kisame and Zabuza and all the 7 Ninja Swordsmen are already dead, so Getsu's not there.
They
So
already
I
killed
don't care.
Kagura. I hope the Mist Village explodes.
Exactly. The only reason I care about it is because of the rogue ninja Shizuma, who is anime only and not even there. So,
Exactly.
It's
I'd rather
like-
say, if anything, okay, this is so sad. Genuinely, I think the thing that I have the most interest in the entirety of the Mist Village right now is Samehara. It's not even a human.
Yes,
That's not what-
exactly. Though it's true, and it's not because of Boruto. It's Leonardo. I guess slightly more to anime, but it's really to Leonardo.
Yeah.
It's really to the Kizane who's dead.
But back
Yes,
to
Samehara's the only one I'm shedding a tear for. To be honest.
literally, yeah. Exactly. But back to Daemon. That actually wasn't even a segue. That was all still just the Daemon intro topic part of it.
I know.
But the general idea is, yes, it sounds like we agree. Everything was set up, especially in this chapter, and everything leading up to this chapter, that Daemon is that guy, and this chapter just reinforced it, that's building the platform, the pedestal, the hype, as you described it, for the execution to stand on top of. And we agree, it executed, it did what it needed to do, it did stand on top. But it's like, for Madara and for all these other examples where they have this build-up, it's doing it so that that spectacle is something truly special. It's a platform to springboard off of, for the hype moment to jump up off of the platform, to ascend to new heights. Daemon didn't reach towards the stars. He just, like, he didn't even land. He at best landed on the moon, at best. It's like, congratulations, you hit your trajectory. You didn't even go above that. So it's not like over expectations or anything, which is just sad, because that's where they set the expectations too. But, like, that's where it really should, like, slingshot it upwards.
And I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt for a
What's
moment
a
when I say
highlight?
something. I personally, I think Mana versus the Alliance definitely did better than David versus Momoshi here. But let's just assume they're equal for a moment. Well, Madara didn't stop there at all. It just escalated more and more. Get the meteors, the 5 Kage fight, the perfect
It
Susan.
kept
Like, it just kept
escalating,
going up
yeah.
and up. Now, technically, it could happen for Damon here. There's 1,000 Momoshis now. Damon could just smirk and say, "Yeah, watch this," and just instantly take them all out. That could happen.
And I can't wait for them to be as smart as possible when they do it.
Yeah. And I don't really expect that necessarily, but let's just assume that does happen. Okay, we'll have to see how he does it now. Gonna be coming back to, okay, then why didn't he do it that easily first time? But it's fine. But that's assuming something that I'm not confident they're gonna do. But if we assume that, then okay, I can work with it. But then again, it's gonna come down to how he does it.
Yeah.
Does he just smirk and take them all out instantly? That's really how you'd have to do it to make up for it.
But it's not just take them all out, because if you're excluding Daemon, whatever. If you're including Daemon, that's a whole different playing field. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Even then, like we've said before, even if they're getting into, like, a losing scenario, they could just teleport Ada away. So I genuinely don't know what the problem is. But that aside, well, Kamui, I've said generally how I'd fix it, but, you know, I've never, like, elaborated with specifics. So I figured I would take the opportunity just to not just say it, but to prove it. Shout out Sakura with 28 different specifics here of what me, challenged myself to do. So I wrote all these ideas, and I'm assuming you're ready to do so. If you're still here, or if you walked away, I don't know what would happen.
I can't see, but I hear you for now. I'll come to see you soon. But
okay. Well, point number 1 of how I'd do it, you know, if I were to write these moments. 1, keep Boruto describing Mamushi the exact same. Boruto calls him a demon, and Mamushi remembers his palms, yada yada, etc, etc. So everything's the same so far. If anything, have Boruto hype him up more. So that's technically the same, but, like, just more exaggerated. So not a difference yet, just exaggerating what we already have. So call him, like, okay, this is cool, I think. I could see, like, Ikimoto writing this in, because it's just, like, such a Boruto line to say. Not the character, but, like, the series. So Boruto would like, have a line such as, like, he's one hell of an unreachable bastard. and stuff like that. Like, especially in comparison, like Kawaki saying he can see how far ahead Jura is. A line like this from Boruto would just really reinforce this idea. One hell of an, because to me, that's almost as cool of a line as like Sasuke saying Jigen is bad news. Like, it's just so iconic.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I hope, at least subconsciously, that example line you wrote was inspired by Naruto's one hell of a left hook. Second.
I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. I feel like it was inspired by a couple different lines.
Low-key.
in Boruto, though.
Low key, I think my favorite would just be to call back to He's Bad News, is to have Boruto say it about Damon.
That's funny. I
I
like
think I
he's
might
one hell of
turn
an unreachable bastard, or he's an unreachable bastard, or a hell of an unreachable. I like just some sort of
Or,
variant of that.
Obviously,
It's
if
cool.
Damon or Mamoshi said it about it, I kind of just love the He's Bad News line, so I'm down to reuse it.
Sure. Whatever works for you. Well, that's it, because, yeah, I'm presenting my 28. I'm assuming you're going to have your own 28 thoughts on my 28 ideas. It's like I'm only presenting half of it. You're presenting the other half off the top of your head.
So there's going to be 56 possible ways to do this.
Exactly. But all of this so
Ikebana
far...
chose none of that.
Exactly, yeah. So all of this has been the same so far. It's just been exaggerating. So what's the difference? Well, it's this. Mamushi doesn't realize or remember him being afraid of Daemon yet. And I think I've mentioned this before generally, but here's how I would specifically do this. Or if Mamushi did have a memory of being afraid, Mamushi doesn't yet feel scared. But instead, Mamushi does have a nagging, uneasy feeling or sensation that just doesn't sit right with him, and that he just can't shake. Thoughts so far?
I'm thinking you're gonna do this, but in case you don't, I'll say it preemptively. I like the idea that somewhere, I think when Damon does something, like whether it's his speed display or his ability display or whatever, he displays something, or he just does an evil smile. Whatever the thing is, he does a thing, and that's when Mamushi has like a flashback memory of his fear that like Buck had, like kind of like Orochimaru's scared jutsu, yes, but like similar idea. So like he's afraid, and then has that memory. Like if it works well with your uneasy idea, to where he's got an uneasy feeling, and then when this moment happens, he now realizes why he's felt uneasy.
Yeah, so that's how
All
I
this
would
time.
change Mamushi, and I'll get more into that in a minute. But going back to Boruto, how I would change Boruto, if you change him at all, then on any front, then I would just have like Boruto to add something like, honestly, Mamushi, I'm stronger than you. And maybe you don't say that part because maybe you don't like that idea, but maybe he would then like elaborate that like, I'm stronger than you, and ... even I'm scared of him ... Like a line like that from Boruto about David could be so cool to Mamushi, because especially if Mamushi doesn't realize that he's scared of Daemon, a line like that would just, especially if we're gonna have him have this like unshakable sensation that he doesn't know why he's feeling yet, but it just gets stronger as he gets closer.
The only problem with that line, I'll say only problem, but one of the problems with that line is if Boruto is saying that, he's just explaining why they don't need Damon. Because let's just say he means just all the Mamushis. He's stronger than all of them. Okay, so we don't need Damon. Let's just say he means one-on-one.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does that mean 1,000 Mamushis can't be Damon from his perspective? He's either way, you're right into it's either a meaningless line or a meaningless plot point. So that's kind of my problem with that line.
No, that's completely understandable. I get it. But at the very least, meaning aside, you would agree. It's really cool.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think we can use that one in this context, at least.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe there's some way you could like think to reintegrate it somehow somewhere else or something, but I like the idea.
Yes, you probably can. I'm not sure off the top of my head how. And I will say I'm gonna be the picky one when it comes to things like that.
Sure, yeah. I understand. Like I was saying, I was prefacing. You probably won't like this part anyway, so I said maybe don't say that part. But like maybe if you like even reworded it, so maybe instead of Boruto saying even I'm scared of him, Boruto could say something like his power terrifies even me, or something. Like, I don't know. Like, even I'm terrified of his power. I
You're
don't
like,
know.
okay, this is. I'm gonna preface this by saying this is stupid. Be like, he may be a child, but next to him, it's like I'm the child.
Actually, okay, what you just said literally works perfect for the very next thing. Mamushi will then laugh and berate Boruto for being so pathetic as to be scared of one measly bratty kid, and that fear is for the weak, etc. So what you just said works perfectly for the measly bratty kid. One measly bratty kid is like also a callback to like the beginning of Two Blue Vortex when they're saying, "Oh, one measly ninja. Can you guys not capture Boruto?" It's like Mamushi's doing the same thing but about Daemon.
Yeah.
So it's like the audience is aware of the dramatic irony that the characters aren't aware of in this case. It's like the same idea. But definitely cool. So that was the first point. I guess we'll just move on to point 2 unless you had anything to add.
No, we'll go to point 2 now.
Okay, point 2. As Mamushi gets closer, the feeling grows stronger as he starts shaking. And I think, Kamui, I'm shaking. You
With
already know where that where that singular word is going.
Yeah.
So Mamushi starts shaking and says so Mamushi's going to say something along the lines of, or maybe just thinks it or whatever, that his instincts are in overdrive right now, and his whole body feels like it's firing on all cylinders. That line in particular is also a reference to 5 Kage Summit Sasuke. Every cell in my body feels like it's on fire or whatever.
I've already like skimmed ahead, seeing also that you're writing, but I'm gonna write another funny idea. So Mamushi's shaking. Boruto can comment on it and be like, "You're shaking. Are you okay?" And then Mamushi can say, or we'll say trembling to keep it the same.
Sure.
And then Mamushi say, "I'm trembling with excitement." But then when he sees David, he realizes, he just was scared. He just didn't realize it.
Exactly. So he thinks back, or he thinks it's because he's about to fight David. I also think of this similar to the idea of, especially depending on when you want Mamushi to realize he's afraid of Daemon. If you want it to be before Daemon starts fighting him or after. If it's after, then it could be similar to the fight in the Boruto anime, Naruto Next Generations, obviously so far, of Jugo versus like the Jugo arc villain when he like turns into snake mode towards the end. And it's like, oh, he's so powerful, but then he fights Jugo and Jugo just slams him, bro. But like he's going into the fight up until the moment the first hit strikes him to where he's thinking he's gonna win. Like he's screaming giddy with excitement to fight Jugo. And it just wasn't close the whole time. But it could be something like that as well. But yeah, so maybe he even lashes out at Boruto out of sheer battle warrior instinct, attacking. And Daemon can later comment on this manic behavior of trying to keep everything away from him at arm's length in a pathetically desperate attempt to regain control. I think that idea is cool as well. So Mamushi just starts attacking anything close. So maybe even just to show his drop of intelligence, but like specifically like the impact that Daemon is having on like his psyche. He's trying to get everything away from him, which is like a cool idea. He doesn't realize.
Yeah, it's really how you execute it, at least. It can be definitely, I would say execute how it's drawn, because it can be drawn in a way that just looks stupid, or it can be drawn in a way that actually looks like a panic attack, like going crazy.
I think that since Kawaki's here, that could be especially interesting. And like probably the easiest way to directly call on it to make it a focus, because Kawaki can say, "Oh, that's the same thing that happened to me." Like when I think
I have Amado be the one to say that, to comment on it, like from the background, so just like Sumerai can listen, but like it's just for the audience more than anything.
Yeah, he could do that, but I think it'd just be, I mean, if Kawaki's there, you might as well have him reference the first time he met Boruto and all that. I think it could also just be cool. But point 3. As soon as Mamushi sees Daemon, he realizes it's too late. That uneasy sensation he was feeling is like with Jura. No, it's even greater than that. He fears Jura, but Daemon, he's an existential dread. I can imagine, like, you get the existential dread and all bold, and it's like the panel is just an image of like a skull behind Daemon with like the whole rest of the background blacked out. Like the skull's on fire and everything.
There's more than one example. One example, I'm trying to think of like what anime it's from, where like somebody thinks like that they're like dead scared. They're like, no, he's death itself. And like I think they say that word for word. And I
Probably
can't.
Chimera Antark.
That's what I was thinking, but like,
I could just imagine like the
where?
red background with like a white, like fuming skull or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. I don't feel like Killua says this about Pito, but that would be another similar comparison. But like, I can't. I was thinking Hunter x Hunter. I'm just trying to think of like who says this
Maybe
line.
when
I just
Nob
can't.
loses his hair. Maybe when Welfin loses his hair.
Those are possibilities. I mean, it doesn't really matter that specific, but I think that line exists somewhere. Just do something really similar here.
Exactly. Like
The other example I was gonna say is when Meruem sees like Netero before the
Oh, I
Rose
think
Bomb and that face he makes, like, and that have that like as in this case, Damon's not gonna literally make that, but he's gonna see that in the background, or like when Gato sees the demon behind Zabuza, like that kind of idea.
Yeah, I think I might have remembered the specific moment I was thinking of when Pito is born and Ramot feels Pito's nen.
Okay, that's enough. There's a lot of possibilities. I'm not sure which one it is, but somebody says it's like death itself or whatever.
I think it might be mine, but yeah, you get the general idea. I'm just comparing to like 5 different things. We get the idea.
So do you one of those?
Exactly. So you love this idea so far, right? So this one in particular, I think is really cool.
yes, I love that concept for sure.
Even so, this is where you get to like Ikimoto is addicted to his bug puns. Maybe you could like randomly an image of like instead of a skull, it's like a can of bug spray behind a Daemon or something. Or like even funnier, like
or,
you know how like
you know what they could do? Okay, it's more Chimera Ant things. There's like that a narrator montage when they're saying like, you know, like we're just like the ants. No, we're far worse. And we see like a human stepping on an ant. Just do a similar idea to where like Mamushi's just imagining Daemon towering over him. He's the little ant on the ground, and Daemon's towering over him. He's gonna squash him like a bug. And that's how Mamushi's like, it's basically seeing his own death, like the Orochimaru scare jutsu. But like that's how it happens.
So I just thought of something off the top of the cup. So you know how like how Kurapika brings the shovel to the fight versus
to Ubiki.
So yeah, I feel like Daemon is the type of character to do something similar. He's gonna like be hyping himself up. He's gonna be aura flexing going into the fight. Because he's got that confidence allure, you know, just elusive confidence. So I feel like Daemon would either be wearing insect repellent or he'd have like a mosquito spray just like in his pockets, like his coat pockets, or like dual wielding in his hands.
Yeah, my other funny idea is he has like one of those like watering plants pot things to water the plant after he plants Mamushi as a tree, but it doesn't really make sense. But it's like the idea like he's just a tree. He's gonna water the plant after he beats him.
Or maybe like the sticky pieces of paper you hang up to catch flies. Like I feel like that could be one of the examples of like you cut away from the Daemon versus Mamushi fight to cut to something else to see that as like symbolism or symbolic imagery or whatever. Like similar to I've mentioned this a couple times, but the Kurenai imagery of her watering plants at the same time. Hidan kills Asuma with the blood splattering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like you could just have like a fly land in like the sticky bug spray or whatever. The sticky piece of paper.
Bro. No, that would actually. There's like other examples of that. Probably the Chimera arc, but like that would work so well where you have like maybe like a leaf villager, just like a fly that's on the window. They just slap the bug, and then it cuts back to like all the Mamushi's dead, and Damon's just like spinning the basketball on his finger.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro. Like you know how what's Killua's sister's name? The one in the like
Aluka?
Yeah. You know how like Aluka like crushes people's heads? Like imagine like one of the Mamushis is just splattered on the pavement in like the same kind of design.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're cutting away from someone with like a fly swatter hitting a fly, and it's just like Mamushi just flat as a pancake on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously that's not like the only problem there is like that works great if we're just gonna do a fake out to where Damon just kills them all. But like that's not what Ikko's going for. It's the only problem. But like that would work so well.
Yeah, well, we'll see what I do with this idea. So Mamushi immediately turns around to fly back to the village to destroy it. I know, I'm going extreme here. Hear me out, because I know that's a sentence right there. That's a full-on sentence. to try and summon Jura because he'd rather deal with Jura than Daemon. I'm gonna stop right there. Thoughts?
So what is his plan there? Like, what is he doing when he goes?
So
to
he's
Jura?
so terrified of Daemon. I'm just gonna read the rest of this. He's just gonna try and summon Jura to save him as another possibility.
Okay.
But I feel like that's less cool than what I'm implying here. Or because now that he remembers Daemon exists, but understands / comprehends / is aware that he is Daemon's enemy, he wants to die, but wants to do it in the quickest, painless way possible, in which case it's going to be Jura, and Daemon will be the most brutal. So he's basically, and so that's the one that I prefer. It's going to be like he's pulling a Momoshiki. He wants to die as quickly as possible, and he knows Daemon's not going to let that, so he's getting away from Daemon and doing his best to summon Jura.
Okay. To have Jura kill him?
Well, we'll get to, it's just like, we're going like frame by frame here. So this is just the point to where Mabushi's got to the fight and he's turned around, and that's where we're at currently. We haven't gotten anything beyond that yet.
Okay. For me, I think it depends on where we go from here, because I can't get behind that. It just depends on what we do with it.
Yeah, to be fair,
'Cause I
again,
don't-
like we were describing above, it depends on when you want Mamushi to be scared of Daemon. Because if you want Daemon to do like the first attack or whatever as Mamushi like charges at him, again, similar to like the Jugo arc with the main villain there, you could do that first. It just depends on what order. Because all this would just happen obviously after the moment that he's afraid of
Yeah.
Daemon. Just whatever moment you want that to be works best for you.
Yeah. And like I said, it depends on where we go from here, because I don't want, as much of a cool me movie for Daemon and all that, I don't want Mamushi, the character, to just be like, he just goes to Jura and Jura kills him, and that's the end of Mamushi. As funny as that is, because I see more potential for Mamushi's narrative and for the rest of the cast, obviously. I don't
Sure.
want that.
Yeah, it's so if
So
you, I didn't really care about the specifics here, but just the general motivation. He wants to get away, probably wants to summon Jura for whatever reason. I think it's I understand. Not this is controversial. I admit I'm gonna be in the minority. I am aware of that. That he'd rather Jura kill him than like he's accepted his death. It's about how he's dying now, and he's again like the above point where he's trying to take back his own agency. He's lost control. He's trying desperately, pathetically to grab it back, as Daemon tells him, by getting everyone away from him. This could just be like part of that. He's trying to choose his own death. But I understand it's very, very controversial, especially if you want him to be saved. But yeah, he could just go to the village to try and summon Jura or whatever. Could work as well. Whatever works. But point 5, it's too late. So this is probably where you would have like the fly flying into the paper, sticky paper, whatever. But Daemon is faster than him, and Mamushi can't get away. Daemon says something like, "Your target is Ada? Fine. Then I guess that means ... Daemon's speed blitzes in front of him, crippling him as he does so. Similar to Levi versus the Beast Titan. Had to throw that reference in there. And so then Daemon's going to say, "Mamushi, my target is you."
It's a cool callback. Okay, you know what I want?
I want Mamushi to be like lying on the ground, like a Mamushi lying on the ground.
Yes.
And Daemon is gonna crouch in the exact same pose that Mamushi
Yes,
did. when he
exactly.
said
That's
that word.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, so that's what I say. Daemon does the iconic Ada Mamushi thing as Mamushi is in a cold sweat and Daemon can't help but smirk confidently. Like, paralleling it perfectly.
That's the coolest way we could do this idea. Yeah. Okay. Above all else, I want Daemon crouching down like that and saying the "my target is you" thing.
Yes,
scare
bro.
Mamushi.
I love
That's the
it.
one thing we're keeping. I don't know if we're gonna top that. You probably will, but I really like that.
Right? It's so cool.
It actually, it's not just cool though. It works.
I know.
It's a very good type of callback. Like that's like one of those things. It's just good.
Like, I'd argue this might not be as good as the Naruto Sasuke scaredy cat line, but it's like around the same ballpark, arguably.
It's a similar concept for sure.
Maybe not as much meaning, but
like it's
close.
very good.
Close enough. Your target
No,
is Ada?
obviously the
Fine.
build up to the line, he doesn't have to say your target's Ada. Well, my target's he could do it in different ways. He could just say, you know, Mamushi, I've decided my target. Like it doesn't really matter how you get there. The point is he's crouching down saying my target is you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what matters. I don't care. I don't even care if it's cringy leading up to it. All I care is that we get that part at the end.
Especially, I think it's coolest if he is trying to flee back to the village and like he turned around, he's running towards the village or flying or whatever. He gets crippled, doesn't even realize what happened because he got speed blitz. He falls down. He's like reaching out towards the village, and you get like
Damon just like does a side like a Leaf Hurricane style swing kick, and it just chops his legs off.
I love it. Or like breaks his spine, like his bones in his back are broken or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of like a first-person perspective shot, seeing from Mamushi's eyes as he's reaching towards the village, and Damon just like reaches over the brave.
I can't think of what scene off the top of my head of someone trying to crawl before someone steps in front. Oh, it's probably the Mahito crawling away. Then Gato shows up. I don't know. That might not be the one. The point is, there's a scene of someone, might be Naruto, someone trying to crawl away, and then the person steps in front of them. I'm pretty sure it's a Naruto. Can't think of what it is. I can imagine the music in my head, though. But anyway, I want like there to be a claw mark right in front of the Mushi's reaching to, so we can climb into the claw mark to escape. Is what I want. And then I want Damon to step right in front of that claw mark and do his crouch down thing.
Oh, well, okay. That works as well. Arguably better than mine. I was going to say that Mamushi's reaching for the claw mark. Damon's going to stomp on his hand.
Okay, that's also cool.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what the person stepping in front of the thing is. Like, I'm thinking of, though. Oh, okay, you know what? This isn't exactly the same, but this might be what I'm thinking of, because I'm thinking like the step part. It might be when Sasuke's like running away in the massacre, and then like Itachi just like steps, he's like in front of Sasuke. That might be what I'm thinking of, but
okay.
Regardless, yeah, I like the idea that there's you just have to make a claw mark if you don't want to have that. It could just be a Mamushi and dead on the ground that he's gonna climb through that claw mark or a claw mark. I don't care. The point is there's a claw mark in front of him, and Damon's gonna step in front.
Mamushi decided he doesn't want to fight anymore. He wants to go back to the village, but it's so impossibly far, and Damon's literally in his way. He has to get through Damon if he wants to get back
I
to
thought
the
of
village.
another.
Like, he just can't do it.
I thought of another example. It's Danzo running away from Sasuke, and then Obito just like appears dead in front of him. That's another example. There's a lot of examples.
There's a lot of examples for sure.
Okay. You know, screw it. In addition to that, let's also do a callback to Sasuke just walking behind injured running away Danzo, where Damon's just like walking behind doing the same. I don't care if it's a rip-off. I don't care. We're doing it here because it works for this scene.
Yeah, so I don't know if technically you would like the idea of Damon dismantling this one singular claw grime similar to Levi versus the Beast Titan more than just the one shot on it. But like either way, I think it's cool. Like it just shows Damon, he doesn't have to do it that way. He's doing it strictly just to dismantle this one Mamushi for like just to prove his point.
I like it best though if somehow Damon's got the sensory to do this, so I think it's fine. He knows this is the original Mamushi, the one that said the line. This is the one he's gonna torment specifically.
So this is why I chose it to be this option, to where Mamushi's gonna be afraid of Damon before Damon starts fighting, because this is the moment once Damon does this, the other Mamushis are gonna realize they have to fight Damon. Because they didn't want to fight Damon, but now Damon's giving them no choice. Their only way out of this, to even get the sliver of a chance to get what they want to get to the village or whatever their goal is in this case, is through Damon. So it's going to be like Naruto and Sasuke versus Haku trapped in the ice mirrors. They don't want to be in there, but their only way to win is, I guess their goal is to get out of the ice mirrors. It's going to be similar to that, basically. But anyways, number 6. Someone can comment on how Damon is even more of a wild card, savage animal than Mamushi is.
They could do a play on words to where like that works, yeah.
Yes, bro. I love it. Because it's just,
I don't know off the top of my head the string of words, but like there's definitely a way to do that.
Because this doesn't progress the fight. This isn't meaningful in any kind of real way. But what this does is just one of those moments that is springboarding off of what's been built. This is just elevating it to the next level. This is just one of those moments that would add to that sensation. It's good. Just
Yeah. I mean, Boruto could always say the line early, or you could have him do it during the line.
I like it being
like during the
during.
fight, I mean.
Because
I agree, I
because
agree.
at this point we've built so much up before the fight, we don't need anything more there. It at this point we're working with the fight. Not that
Yeah.
we could have done more, but you know. Summer
You
7.
don't want to do it too much. Because the more you
Exactly.
hype it up, the more you need to deliver to.
So okay, you're gonna love this. It's hilarious. This is also a JJK reference, but Daemon says the Mamushis are already under his domain. This is also a reference to the Hyuga Yin Yang stance, the gentle
Oh,
fist
okay.
64 palms
Okay.
thing.
You didn't say it yet, but you might. I was gonna say the reference to the chapter 75 title, Domain of Gods, where Damon's on the cover.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's good as well.
You might as well just go, although you're in my domain, the domain of gods.
So this next thing is a reference to when Lee took the weights off for Sisgara. But Daemon, so there's one Daemon and 200 Mamushi, so the Mamushis are going to do what like Naruto's strategy with the Shadow Clones was versus Haku, where he's going to do the multi-Shadow Clone and try and get out from every possible direction. But because there's one Daemon, 200 Mamushi, so that's their strategy. But Daemon is so quick, he's going to be running in a circle around them. It's going to be similar to like Killua's shadow step technique with the after images.
Yeah.
They can't break out of the circle. Like, Daemon has trapped all 200 within an area because he's just so
Okay.
fast.
I like the idea of him doing like in a circle really fast, or just have him do leads bounce around the room jutsu, like, where he just is doing that. I'm fine with that.
See, I like the idea that it's more like a potential to where it's going to be similar to
Oh,
Killua
wait.
when he has what's the girl name? Kogumi, when he has Kogumi on his back and he's doing like the circle and tells Poof, you step in here, you die or whatever. It's going to be similar to that, to where it's more like the potential. Like if Mamushi tries and goes outside of this clearly defined boundary, it's going to be like stepping into a particle accelerator. That clone gets shredded.
Okay. That's a cool idea too. I'm gonna allow you to keep that and just have this be in addition to it, to where if Mamushi doesn't do anything in a certain amount of time, the following thing I say is gonna happen. So it's basically, let's just say if he doesn't leave the circle in 1 minute, my thing's gonna happen. If he leaves the circle, he just gets like shredded like a lawnmower or whatever.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen if he stays in the circle? Damon's running so fast. He's gonna make a tornado that kind of looks like with the Uzuhiko versus Idari, but he's just gonna make this tornado from his running speed that just like it disintegrates all the Mamushis. So no matter what, Mamushi's screwed.
Yes.
And all he's doing is running. It's literally just doing all of that from.
Yeah. So the reason that I'm having this happen is because, like, writing-wise, where we're at this plot point would be the Mamushis are trying to escape. They're still not trying to fight Daemon. They're trying to accomplish their current goal at that time, which is to get back to the village. By Daemon doing this, he's proving to them that the clones can't do that. They have to beat Daemon first. And that's to say that Daemon isn't going to need to just do the run around the circle the whole time. That's how we can get to Daemon stopping doing that and the clones not trying to escape, knowing that Daemon can just go back to doing that. It'd be pointless. So that the clones, their new goal, instead of to get to the village, it's their only resort. They're at their last resort. They have to fight Daemon. So Daemon can stop doing his run around thing to where we can get back to just Daemon versus Mamushi. But like this is like the coolest way to get to that, in my opinion. If that makes sense.
Like in universe, if Damon just like lets him like fight them, like I'll stop. Like he does versus Code anyway.
Exactly. So this is similar to like when Daemon jumps off of Ada's back to go fight the Mamushis, and the Mamushis run at Ada, but then Daemon proves that like they're in Ada's proximity. Like Ada's essentially on a leash to where Daemon's within range. No matter what, the Mamushis can't get to him. So it's kind of like that idea is where I'm taking the inspiration from. But yeah, if I can't run, then wow, I still can. Ow. And then just cut off. Summon Naruto, Sasuke, and Haku's Ice Mirrors. So, Damon Speed Blitz kills the clones. Damon says the domain is around Ada, and we see... Okay, this is hilarious. So, like I was just referencing, so the circle that Damon's going to be running, the Mamushi clones are going to be realizing that Ada is within the circle, and that... So it's going to be a reference to Kisame's water bubble, to where... Ada is the middle of the bubble, and wherever Ada walks, the circle range moves. So it's going to be like some of the Mamushis aren't going to be paying attention and like looking inwards towards the middle of the circle towards Ada, and Adas are going to like walk away from some of those clones, and those clones are going to now be outside of the circle, so they're going to be shredded by the daemon running around. Like the particle accelerator basic idea.
And then so that they're basically gonna realize the only way to not get shredded is to go after Ada, but going after Ada means Damon's gonna kill him.
Exactly. Yeah, so I like this idea because to me, this is Damon letting his sister know in the most Damon way possible, she's safe. She can go back to living her life if she wants. She could go take a nap. She could go inside and go take a nap on the couch or watch TV. She's safe. Her little brother has got this.
Okay.
That was my idea
you.
behind doing that.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I think both of these can work. Option one is you just keep Ada being like afraid the way she's been depicted so far in the story. I think that's fine. And Damon can just like prove to her she's fine. Option two, Ada was never worried. She is as calm as can be, got her legs crossed, sipping a drink, watching TV, because she just knows she's fine.
Basically, Ishiki versus Koji. Exactly, same idea.
Yeah. Which do you prefer? Because I think both.
I've considered both. I only wrote this one, I'm pretty sure, but like the other option is just as valid. But I only wrote this one, so I'll just stick with this one that I have right here. Ada's not bothered. Like, she's grossed out by Mamushi. That's not going to go away, but she's not in fear of being devoured or anything. She's not trying to like run away.
You can do that easily if you just have her like make like she looks out the window and she's like, ugh, yuck, and then goes back to watching her TV show. Whatever.
Exactly. Or like the closest that you could have is like when Ada puts her arm up to like block Delta's kick that never was going to contact her anyways. Connect with her.
Yeah.
Could be just like that, where she just so effortlessly, she doesn't care because she knows, she's just breezing past it.
That's a good point though. If Ada can react to Delta, who can body Mamushi,
True.
why can't she fly away from Mamushi?
Yeah.
Really? Like...
But here's the funny thing. So Damon's going to tell Mamushi this idea of the concept of the circle with Ada being at the epicenter, and so Damon's going to say he has a leash around Ada. Ada's going to hear that and comment, "This is why she didn't want to awaken Damon." And that pays that off. Thoughts?
I guess it can. I mean, I don't really know how I want to pick up that line, to be honest, but I can't decide
That's
what
fair.
I like for it.
I think it's so cool. The implications here are so huge. Like, there's such a larger conversation to have there, but we'll just skip past it for now.
I agree.
Yeah, okay, so point number 8. Now that Damon has proven his point, he stops doing the run around in a circle thing, this is what I was saying earlier, and asks if Mamushi will fight him. Before Mamushi can even answer on if he will or not, Damon attacks immediately and says, "Sorry, I got impatient." Thoughts?
Sorry, you don't get a choice.
Yeah, whatever quote you want to be there. It could just be no quote at all. Maybe Mamushi's the next person to say, be like, "I haven't answered yet," or "Hey, that was unfair," and then you could have Damon say whatever you want there. Or he just kills the clone that says it was unfair and just continues to not say anything, and the Mamushis realize they can't talk, they just have to fight, they don't have a choice. Like, that could just be another also just option, which is cool. I love the idea. It's almost trolling Mamushi by thinking he has the choice, by Damon asking him if he will fight after proving that he has no other option.
If you're gonna compare to Madara versus the Kage and stuff. In the trolley aspect, it's also in David's characterization of be a troll. So
Exactly. Well, it also works for the strategy because once again, like Damon is taking this seriously. Like he just basically off-guarded a Mamushi for free. So just got another kill. Might as well do it. Why not? It's what Damon would want to do anyways.
that ironically would be the only example of them actually paying off Mamushi being stupid.
That too, yeah. That could be cool. Point 9. Damon's attack knocks out Mamushi's teeth. I'll stop right there. Thoughts?
Yeah. I completely agree. In fact, that could be the thing that sparks his memory, or one of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking earlier. There's a reason that I'm writing it here. And again, you could like technically reorder this in whatever order. So this could be like the first beat of the actual fight before Mamushi realizes he's afraid of Damon. This could be how he realizes it. But there's a reason that I wrote it as point number 9. Also in order of what I've thought of, but that's, separate. But the reason I wrote it here is Boruto's gonna yell, "What are you doing? You need to take out the eyes or this is all meaningless." And then Damon casually, nonchalantly laughs like Gojo, saying, okay, so okay. I messed this up. So it wasn't Boruto who's gonna say it, it's Kawaki who's gonna say it. And there's a reason I'm doing this. Okay, this was point number 9. Okay, so yeah, so Kawaki yells, "What are you doing? It's all meaningless."
Damon laugh and say, "It doesn't matter how many there are."
Well, no,
Or,
okay,
like,
so he's not going to explain yet. We're going to get to the explanation later. Yeah, but also Kawaki yelling this is going to be similar to, I feel like this is what he does, like in the Naruto versus Delta fight. Like, he's saying stuff like this. So I feel like it'd be in Kawaki's character to just say stuff like this. But yeah, again, it's like attack the eyes or else it's all meaningless. Because obviously, if you don't attack the eyes, they're just going to multiply. We'll get to that in a minute.
Also, Shikadai say technically too.
Yeah,
the strategist.
I could say that. I feel like I like Kawaki saying it here, especially if it's going to be like, because this is right here. What I'm doing right here is I'm doing a 1, 2, 3 thing. This is the first part of the 1, 2, 3. That's why I'm having it be Kawaki, because it's going to be 3 different characters. I originally had it Boruto all 3 times, but I like it being 1, 2, 3 with the big 3 characters: Boruto, Sarada, then Kawaki, then Sarada, then Boruto. Yeah, so this is the first one. It's going to be 3 repeated things. It's going to be like the what is it? The porridge with the bears, the bear porridge.
The 3 little bears. Okay.
Yeah, that it's 1, 2, 3. Not at all similar, just like the concept of 3, I guess. But so yeah. So again, like Kawaki's gonna be like yelling, "What are you doing? You need to take out the eyes, or this all mean," because Damon took out Mamushi's teeth. Damon's gonna casually, nonchalantly laugh like Gojo, saying, "Ha ha ha, Kawaki, I've got this." And he's just not gonna say anything else. He's just gonna keep attacking. He can just have like his iconic, his Damon pose. You know the one. Well, let me just pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't need to look.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I've got this.
I'm not looking, but I know what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, with like the 2 thumbs or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So point 10.
Okay, real quick.
Uh-huh.
I hate Ikimoto. Why has David never done that since?
Because it's too good for him. Oh my god, I'm glad we're on the same page.
This is so stupid. This makes no sense because Kodash should do that, man.
Yeah. So again, that was the one of the 3 things. We'll come back to 2 and 3 later on of the 28 points here. But number 10, when the Mamushi split from the damaged one. So this is the one with its teeth knocked out. So the split Mamushi, the Mamushi clones, have no teeth. This is a revelation. The clones retain the damage. Yeah, we're doing my idea here. Because I've mentioned this before. If a Mamushi clone uses its chakra, then the split clones from that clone should have the same amount of chakra, which is going to be less than 100%. The damage is retained. So in this case, if Daemon is attacking the clones, it doesn't matter if the clones can split. Over time, in the long term, the clones are inevitably going to get weaker. So that going after the eye doesn't matter.
So it should be. I mean, to be fair, have we really seen a actually damaged Mamushi split yet? Or have we only seen it happen from the problem is everyone's attacking its eyes, so
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think we have seen that. But regardless if it is the case or not, I'm making it the case. This is a
Yeah.
react.
I agree. It makes more sense for the ability anyway.
And it's especially cool. Once again, Daemon doesn't need to care about this because he's doing that. He not only that, but it also proves that Daemon's smart. He just knows this. So it's like he's smarter than the characters and the audience because this is a revelation for them as well. But point 11. Up to this point, nobody has killed a Mamushi clone. So I'm just retroactively rewriting this entire arc. And to be fair, this might be like a big exaggeration. You could have it to where maybe like 1 or 2 of them die. You could also just fix numbers from like 20 to 30 to 200, or just have it to be there never was 200. There was only 20 to 30 at max going towards Mamushi. Or, sorry, towards Daemon here. Whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to the most extreme example to where up till this point, we're going to have the Chapter 4 Boruto versus Mamushi.
I mean,
power
honestly,
scaling.
you could just write it to where nobody did kill a Mamushi. All they've done is stalemate them. So Boruto's got to take on 10. He's using karma. That's fine. So if base Boruto can only stalemate 1 Mamushi, okay, power Boruto can stalemate 5, and so on. They haven't killed any of them yet. That's why they're doing
Exactly.
the Daemon plan, because it's actually 20 to 30. They can't kill any of them, so they have to use Daemon. They're just all stalemating. Chocho and Team Ino Shikasho, they're just fighting 1. So
Exactly. So that was my way of making this the less extreme version, to where it's going to be like the pain arc, to where like Konohamaru, the pain is clearly outclassing him, but maybe through a sheer stroke of luck, Konohamaru is going to be managing to take out 1. So yeah, maybe
He doesn't even kill it either. In this case, they're just gonna knock out 1. Like,
I mean, that could work too. But like maybe Boruto could kill 1 or 2, but then like a swarm comes and Boruto can no longer even attack him because too many. It's just too many. But same with Kawaki, maybe the same idea. And like Ino Shigecho, maybe they can take out 1 and then they just get overwhelmed by 2, and then 3 is like, oh, they're done. It's gonna be like Jiraiya versus the Pains. Jiraiya could, like, he was getting almost overwhelmed by like the animal path. He goes Sage mode. He can take on 3, and then with 6, it's like, oh, it's way.
But he can't even
way
really
too
take on 3. Not gonna lie, he needs to run away and do his strategy with Genjutsu.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the exact same idea. Like he can't even take on 3, and then you get 6, he's dust. He's just gone. Like it's same idea. But I'm going with the even more extreme version to where they just can't even kill 1 here. But whichever way you want to do it, honestly. But anyways, Mamushi and his clones are just OP. In fact, we don't need so many bodies here. Delta can have been destroyed, literally. Shikadai, unconscious. Chocho, hospitalized after Nine Tails healing. Sarada, unconscious from incredible Mangekyo strain already. You know, like the first time she used it. Himawari, out of chakra. Yeah, the Nine Tails is out of chakra. That's really showing you the levels here. That can be how crazy this is. No Chocho exploding their heads off. Kawaki is already overheating from karma. Boruto is beat to shit, exhausted, and unable to keep fighting. Daemon is the last resort. Not just stated, but shown. Because nobody else is left standing. They all fought just to escape or survive. But I'm sure you agree.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down based on the nature of how Mamushi's abilities stated to work. Because you say, why is Mamushi so much stronger than everyone else? Because of this ability that he just happens to have that should be this broken. If he's already Hidari level, then when he has 30 of them, he should be 30 Hidari levels, which is blatantly a lot stronger than Hidari.
Exactly.
So then it tracks.
Literally. I'm glad we agree. I mean, if Sarada's passing out from killing 1 Ryu, then like
I know
best,
she should be passing out from killing 1 Mamushi.
Exactly. Exactly. But point 12, moving to the actual fight, you know, instead of like the retroactively rewriting this arc, since this is wrong what it's supposed to be. So moving to the actual fight, it's relatively the same, surprisingly enough. Daemon effortlessly kicks through 3 Mamushis at the same time, etc. And maybe like one addition is Ada, and if it's a double page spread, Ada yawns. It's basic taijutsu, as Daemon single-handedly, without others helping dwindles their numbers down, running the hands one at a time, like Madara versus Shinobi Alliance or Kimimaro versus Kyuubi Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this matters. Like again, through changing nothing here, everything is changed because of the retroactive point. If Chocho isn't exploding their heads off, Daemon doing this matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That makes it almost makes it too borderline. I mean, I still think you can make the fight cooler, but you almost don't have to by changing those other surrounding things.
Exactly. And I did like add the addition of Ada yawning. I don't know if you think like that. So going with the two
Or have
different
Damon
options
yawn,
of
just
the
something,
options. Oh, a Damon could do it. That could be even better, honestly. Either way works.
And then Ada
but-
could yawn in response to Damon. You know how like people yawn when people yawn? She could be like you convey this idea. You don't have to use this exact dialogue. Be like, don't stop yawning, Damon. You're making me yawn. Like, and then she does it.
So I think that could actually be a perfect double page spread. Damon yawning on the left is the only thing on the page. Ada yawning on the right. And like maybe like a speech bubble like on the left. It's like these siblings are ... on the right. Unimaginable or whatever word you want to have there. They're both just yawning. I think that would be really cool. I have another double page.
Ada have a line about like all this fighting makes me sleepy or like whatever. Something blank makes me sleepy. Like just so she just does not care.
Or like maybe this is ... on the left page, boring ... on the right page. With them both yawning.
That's funny.
But that's just one of many double page spreads I'll get to later. So I went all out.
I like the double yawn idea.
Yeah, right. Cool. So point 13, Damon complains, that all you got? And references 10 times 0 is still 0. This honestly,
that's 100 times 0 or 1,000 times or whatever times.
Honestly, I almost want to say Sasuke never said it. Have Damon say it as the first time this is said in the franchise. It works better here than in the
arguably it makes more sense. I mean, I think it's good when Sasuke says it, but
yeah, I agree.
It technically makes even more sense to have Damon say it here, just based on the who's against who.
Yeah, again, that's not to downplay the Sasuke saying it to kids in Naruto. You know, that's like one of my top 10 lines in the whole franchise. That's just to say how good this line would be here. But I also think it'd be funny to reference the Naruto versus Kimimaro, I'm not just quantity anymore, I'm quality line from KCM Naruto. However you want to write that in. Somehow.
Or you could have Damon reference Kimimaro's line where he says something very close to the following. I can't remember word for word. I remembered the last part, but be like, it doesn't matter how much of it is. Trash is still trash. Like when he says something very close to that, Damon could also reference that. Okay. Or he could even change it to be like, it doesn't matter how many there are. Bugs are still just bugs.
Yes. And then maybe you could cut back to like the sticky piece of paper and it has like 10 bugs caught in it now. Or whatever, like a lot of bugs. I love that idea. You could... what was I about to say? I forgot. I might just have to move on because I forgot. I guess I'll just move on. Okay. That sucks. Oh well. Point 14. One of the Mamushis does escape and gets away to run away scared shitless, headed towards the village. Again, maybe you don't want to do this. This is a point that I could understand if you don't want to do. But I have this written here for a reason. I'll come back to this later. Damon doesn't care. In fact, he could watch the Mamushi get away. But it's just like one slipped through the cracks, however you want to imagine. Maybe it like burrowed underground, whatever. Like maybe they're commenting on it. Like, oh, he's slippery like a snake. Of course he'd get away like a cockroach. He slipped between the cracks, or whatever you want to say, with the sideline characters saying whatever line. So okay, the 1, 2, 3 thing. Coming back to that, here's point 2. Sarada says, "What are you doing? You have to take this seriously." Damon's response, he Gojo laughs, follows by, "Ha ha ha, relax, Sarada, that's strike 2, no more warnings." I've come back to it.
But Damon says that, or you're saying
Damon says that. Damon says that.
Okay.
So and that's in reference to like all the sidelines characters. He's not referencing Sarada in particular.
Yeah.
He's like telling the sideline characters like, that's enough. He's got this. Yeah, because I think that's what he said above. Like, I got this. So he's basically saying, yeah, I've got this. So he's basically saying, don't tell me what to do. Let me fight this way. And other people are continuing to do that. So it's 1, 2, 3. There's going to be one more with Boruto. You'll see what I say there. And you're going to love it. The third thing here, what I'm referencing, is the singular one of all 28 points that you're going to love above the rest.
Okay.
But no, he's doing the Gojo laugh here again.
The Daemon, my target is you, Kuroch, saying, that's going to be hard to beat. That's still what the coolest thing to do.
I know. But I know. Keep in mind, I'm saying that knowing you were going to love the my target is you thing. That's how confident I am in this.
Okay.
Once I get to it, I'm not even going to need to explain it. It's so short and simple.
Which point is it?
I don't remember. I don't remember. We're just going to be surprised together, but I'll tell you. You'll probably know. You probably won't need me to tell you which point it is.
Oh, well, the funny thing would be if I get super hyped about one point, thinking it's the point, you're like, oh, no, it's not you in that one.
That would be good. To be fair, I think it's going to be obvious because, again, it's going to be following this 1, 2, 3 format and, like, the same, like, pattern.
That's true.
So, yeah. But, point 15. We're not doing the weird hand retcon with Daemon's palms or whatever. Screw that nonsense. His reflectability will work clearly. And I'll get to, like, the meaning behind this later. It's also, I'm also foreshadowing with the previous thing. But, like it did in part 1, with the hand thing being stupid and ruining everything. Reflecting physical action and reflecting intent is 2 different subsets of his same ability, explained similarly to how the love charm is a subset of omnipotence. The Mamushi clones never touch Ada in this case. Daemon kills any of them that tries. Maybe Ada, like, brushes her hair or takes a nap or whatever. Yeah, so that's, again, referencing that. It'd be funny if, like, she's like,
pulls up the comb.
You're, like, brushing her teeth in the mirror, like, looking at herself in the mirror.
Okay, brushing her teeth in the middle of the air during the fight would be hilarious. It's just stupid, but it'd be really funny. Okay.
Like putting on
I get an idea.
Maybe.
That can kind of work for this. Okay, I'll start with the stupid idea that made me think of it and then adjust it to be a little bit more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So from the fight, like a splatter of Mamushi's blood or like bug juice or whatever you want to call it, the funny way was it lands on Ada's teeth and that's why she brushes her teeth. But the more realistic way is it gets on her face, she's like, yuck. Then she pulls out her mirror and her like, the makeup stuff and she starts doing her makeup to like fix it.
So, okay, I got a better one for you. It's gonna land on her clothes, and the entire fight, Ada's casually in the background with, like, small speech bubbles. She's having, like, a continuous dialogue calling a local clothing store, because that's what she plans to do after the fight. That also shows how confident she is.
Okay, I had a funnier, stupider ideas. She just got, like, the OxyClean in the rest of the fight. She just got dialogue, be like, come on, just come off. Like, she's just, like, complaining about the stain. She's trying to remove it with stain remover.
That'd be funny. I think it'd be more Ada's character to just replace the clothes. I don't think she'd, like, put in any work to, like, fix it or whatever. She
yeah,
just
that'd
get
be
whatever
funny.
she wants anyway.
Yeah, she calls the same clothing store from, like, the Shikamaru call back in chapter 77.
Exactly. And, like, not through, like, the Yamanaka thing. Like, she has, like, her own cell phone. Like, I think it'd just be hilarious.
She's got her cell phone.
Yeah, she's just, like, nonchalantly in the background, just doing that the whole time. Not even focusing on the fight at all. And, like, I think that especially works if, like, the moment the fight ends, Ada just, like, she just naturally continues on coincidentally with where she would have been in that conversation anyway. So where she just flies
I like the idea
over.
that there'd be like in the middle of the fight, there's the background panel, and Ada looks excited, like with the person in the store. It's like, oh, we have this new model. She's like, oh, you have a new model. Like she looks really excited, like she's just not paying attention at all.
I mean, a funny idea going with the circles around Ada idea, and wherever Ada walks, it follows her. If the fight just moves locations entirely
goes to that store,
exactly, and Mamushi has
she says like,
to follow
Damon,
her while
we're
fighting
moving. He's like, to where? The clothing store.
I like the idea. Ada doesn't even have to tell Daemon. She just goes to do her own thing, and Daemon just has the circle adjust around her. So it's like the Mamushis have to focus and adjust and follow along, or they just get shredded. I think that's also hilarious, though. Just changing locations to the clothing store mid-fight. It's also just hilarious.
But they can also worry Mamushi because he doesn't want to piss. I mean, I guess he doesn't care.
True.
But he doesn't want to piss her off.
That's hilarious as well.
Buildings, but Daemon doesn't care.
That's good too. No, but I think that's also cool to show the progression of the fight. Like, because the idea would be the fight's gonna start with Ada's clothing getting destroyed or not destroyed, but like dirty, and the fight's gonna end with Ada getting her replacement clothes. And you're gonna follow Ada along every step along that journey at like a natural linear pace.
It'll be like during the book search. He's just gonna be in the clothing store trying on the clothes. And the fight's going on.
Exactly. Shout out the Arabic person that just subscribed.
Well, Oodie, are you gonna read their name?
I would if I could. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, once again, for the like 1, 2, 3 thing, when Sarda says her thing and Daemon says his thing, relax, Sarda, that's strike 2, no more warnings. And to be fair, I couldn't figure out a better strike 2. I feel like I had one, but I forgot it. But that's what I just came up with afterwards. But he's obviously going to be doing his iconic Daemon 2 thumb pose.
He's gonna like the add. Okay, it doesn't make sense for him to have a third thumb. Like he's just gonna like add extra fingers for what strike they're on.
You can do that too. Okay, so point 16. We're getting through it. The Mamushi clones, hull damaged, enraged, fearing death as a final act, go to their last resort of splitting to 1,000. Koji will have explained earlier that 200 is his maximum number of clones that he can make. This is unprecedented. So also you could have it to where maybe Koji gets a update at this time because of this. Because this was physically impossible before. But Daemon's ability foreshadowing could also like be the explanation here, which I think could be really cool. But Ada finally interferes as a singularity of fate is the reason that I'm doing this. Unlike how she should have at the Sandark mission. But, you know, since she's like the third singularity of fate, and she'd be the third one to act as one, this could be when and how she does it. Yeah, technically through Daemon, but, like, you get the idea. I mean, technically both of them together, if you want to consider the siblings as, like, one unit here.
The siblings of fate.
Yeah.
The siblinguarities of fate.
Yeah, but this is cool because also, like, Shinju identity devouring target shenanigans. This is crazy. Koji, in his shocked wide-eye expression, he's gonna explain Mamushi was pushed so hard, he actually evolved, shattering past his limits.
Okay.
But this is also cool because this means Mamushi just got 5 times stronger than he was before. You obviously already know. He's still going to continue to be bodied just to show Daemon's that's just the elevation levels of how
That goes without saying.
crazy this fight is. Exactly. So, okay. Boruto freaks out. Quickly, Daemon.
Oh my god.
Take them all out now before it gets out of hand. Daemon, Gojo laughs. Boruto, shut up.
And I saw this section. This chapter is named "Shut Up."
Yes. Yeah, screw the other chapter. The other chapter wasn't named "Shut Up." This chapter is.
Better than a freaking Eno Jeans moment.
Exactly. So this was the one above all that I figured you would love. This is the one that I personally love the most, anyways. Poor
I love the fact that the chapter's name is "Shut Up."
And again, the whole time we're wondering when it's going to
better
come
for
in.
this idea though than it does in the actual chapter that we have.
It would be such an iconic chapter, though. Like, everyone would be talking about the Shut Up chapter. Not just because the name, not just because this moment, but because of the whole fight. Exactly, bro. But everyone would know this chapter by name. The Shut Up chapter.
Okay. So this, I don't think we should do
Legendary
this.
status.
I don't think we should do this.
Legacy.
But screw Kawaki flipping Juro off. David flips Boruto off when he says "Shut up" here. And this is the new middle finger.
I'm down. See, I didn't have like the best way to go about this current moment. So there's a lot of possibilities to where that's just the moment on its own, and they're just gonna continue going to the fight. And I guess Damon's just gonna like Boruto's gonna like he's just gonna sit down and be like pouty, like he's just gonna realize he can't do anything. Like that's Damon. Damon gets his way. He needs to let Damon do his thing. What you could do, this may be going too far, but I'm just gonna jump down to point 28, which is what we added last stream. So to where maybe as Boruto says this, he realizes, because obviously it's getting out of hand, so maybe Boruto's gonna go and try to attack a Mamushi clone. And so Damon's gonna do Boruto, shut up. Damon's gonna speed blitz and touch Mamushi to reflect others attacking Mamushi, so Damon can solo.
That's funny, troll.
I love it. That works so well with the shut up though. He's having Boruto's attacks reflect on him by trying to attack the enemy. That's so good. The enemy that Damon wants to attack. Oh, it's so funny. Oh my god. I'm saying this would be the most legendary chapter of all to do Vortex. It's so good. But continuing on beyond the highlight peak for me. The Mamushis, too dumb to do anything else, all turn towards Ada. Here we get the panel of Damon touching Ada for the first time, and all, and I don't mean some, I don't mean groups of them, I mean all, every single last one of the Mamushi clones, all 1,000, all at once, confirming Amado's theory from the beginning of the chapter, which is like the best part of it. This can be the first double page spread in all Two Blue Vortex. One page for
yeah.
Ada
If we
and
don't do the
another page
Yon
for
thing,
all Mamushi Saga.
this does work well for it.
Yeah, so every Mamushi clone is going to die here. All 1,000. There's not going to be a singular one left on the battlefield. So this is the end of the fight. You could also move Damon saying shut up to here instead. Maybe it's even a combo of Ada saying, Sai, Boruto, and Damon says shut up. As he like touches Ada say, but that'd be also cool for like
you could have a say shut up right
siblings.
before touching. There's a lot of ways you could do that.
Exactly. I almost want to pull up the panel.
You could also do it after even. Like this, it kind of works whenever.
Yeah. I just want to pull up that panel really quickly. Let me also since everyone else got hit with it recently, let me just
okay. You might like this idea. Damon. Okay, I think you're gonna like this idea. Just to emphasize the speed. Damon's, we get a panel, it's like, you remember Itachi's first death and you see the lips moving, but we don't get to see the dialect. So you see Damon's lips moving, and then all the Mamushis die, and then only after that does the sound travel to Boruto to where he hears, shut up, and that's the last panel.
That could be funny, Ole. Okay, that works really well. I do like that as well. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be really good. I could imagine, like it's like Boruto's eyes go wide, and you just get like a blank panel as the final panel.
It's like one of those.
Just the speech
it's like
bubble.
the speech bubble where the person speaking is off the page, but we know it's Damon who said "shut up."
Dude, I could see it. It works so well, bro. Yeah, okay,
that's what I think it's good.
Yeah, so this is what I would have be the double page spread. Instead of him saying imbeciles, it's him saying shut up. And instead of it being randomly cut off with a slanted panel of like the top third of the page, it'd be the whole page.
No.
It's so weird how they did that. Yeah, so this would just be like the left page, or I guess technically the right page since it's manga, and this would be the left page.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I love that idea. I really like that delay shut up idea.
I
do think ending with a double page spread makes a lot of sense, but I also like the idea of just having Boruto's reaction face as the last panel with the show. You could combine it to where you have the double page spread and you somehow convey the delayed shut up thing. If you can think of a way to artistically do that, but yeah. I'm fine with any variation.
I mean, I'd also be fine with just Daemon doing this instead of the touching Ada panel saying shut up. This works really well. As well as the third one being just the cover page. If you don't have the cover page, you just have this in the chapter. This is the face he makes when he says shut up.
Or I was going to say, the cover page is the Daemon pose.
Yeah, this one I think I'd like this one the least, especially since you'd have this be the cover page and shut up on the cover page since it's the title anyways. But
yeah,
whatever works. Okay. Yeah, no, I love the idea, bro. The double. This I think should be the double page though. He touches Ada, and, like especially with like the dynamic duo siblings idea. Oh, it's so good with their like Ada's casual expression.
That is such a good double page spread.
Do you like the idea of it being the duo combined? Since it's in this case, if it's going to be Daemon touching Ada, do you like it to where it's Ada sighing and saying Boruto ... and then Daemon finishing it with shut up? Or do you like it to where it's Daemon saying everything?
Because just have Ada yawning. That's her end of it.
I don't know. I love the combination, especially if it's the combination of, because in this case, I feel like both Damon and Ada know the plan to like have Damon touch Ada. Like, I think that's just cool. By the way, it's also cool that Damon could have done this from the very get-go, and that's very clear in this case. He could have just touched Ada, and every Mamushi clone would have exploded no matter the limit from the very get-go.
Yeah.
But with the fight concluded, so okay, here's where we get the foreshadowing from like 3 or 4 of these other points from above that I haven't.
Yeah, when the one goes away.
Yeah, and the fact he hasn't revealed what his plan is yet to anyone, and that he wants to fight this way. He's been fighting this way on purpose. Damon reveals he has been taking this seriously from the start. And I do like the idea. He's not gonna... This isn't the idea of... First of all, I always hated the idea, oh, he's not gonna take it seriously. That's why Ada's gonna be devoured, because he's too busy playing around. He's gonna be caught off guard. But I hated that, especially since he's been taking it seriously from before the fight started. He said so himself. So he's been taking it seriously. But at the same time, he needed to let one Mamushi go and stall the fight for as long as he did, for that Mamushi to do what Damon wanted him to do. And here we go. Here's where we get to the Amino big brain Shikamaru 200 IQ strategy, where this chapter even gets crazier. Beyond just the fight. We cut to the village in ruins and on fire. As Shikamaru and other legacy characters desperately try and miserably fail, Fodder's dying to fend off the singular hurt Mamushi clone.
Okay, so like, this is so funny. I'm gonna let you keep it, but I will say, I do not approve of having all the Konoha 12 desperately failing to hurt an injured Mamushi if we're ever gonna have Team Shikacho do anything versus a healthy one. We're not gonna do that. It's either the Team Shikacho got nowhere, not a single hit landed, or they're not quite as helpless.
Again, all these ideas don't work together. I'm just presenting all different possible ideas.
I will say my favorite part of this is we get to the village and it's on ruins and fire. They just desperately, miserably failing the singular injured. This no legs or crawling Mamushi.
It's so good.
It's so funny. Good. Just on ruins and on fire. It's just
I could have just put a comma after in ruins. That was enough. I had to go out of my way to add and on fire.
It's like the freaking beta salt, like
I love it.
Burning.
Yeah, depending on how long Tubular Vortex is gonna be, this might be why it's destroyed. I think it'd be hilarious. Like, this could obviously.
This one Mamushi. He did that.
Yes. I love that. Also, keep in mind, we haven't cut to the village. We haven't cut to the Mamushi that ran away. We knew what the Mamushi's goal was, but it's gonna be similar to Madara defeating the 5 Kage, and we get that reveal when Naruto realizes it. Oh, I guess they're not doing too well. Because again, this was Damon's plan from the beginning. Obviously, Damon doesn't care about the village, so that makes sense. This is what Mamushi's goal was. As I set up earlier, this is why I set it up, arguably. You could also have it to where this doesn't happen, and Mamushi just makes it to the village. However you want to do it. I thought this would be the most extreme way to do it.
I think it probably shouldn't be in ruins on fire, but that's so funny. I'm just going to keep it for this.
For now, anyways. Obviously, of course, it's totally fine if he just gets to the village and does whatever he needs to do. That Damon wanted him to do. It just depends on Damon's plan, however what you want Damon's plan to go. But there's multiple moving parts here, obviously, and we're getting to the reveal now. So, again, I love this as a reveal. We haven't cut to it. The first time we cut to it, it's already happened. That's why I feel like this one's so effective.
It's on fire.
It's so good. But yeah, so, the Mamushi clone's head suddenly explodes, and obviously that means that it caught up to the timeline when Damon did his thing, because this clone did what he needed it to do. Like the rest when Damon did his thing, obviously. So, out pops Jura, who grabs this Mamushi's soul thorn. It was the original. Damon explains he knew that. So Damon let specifically, not just one, but specifically that one get away, because that's the soul thorn. And he needed the soul thorn not to be where they are, but in the village where Jura would be. So again, there's multiple, like, I feel like this is part of the spectacle of some like the Madara fight, to where it's not just the fight, it's the like backbone strategy reveals behind the fight. I feel like this is like the other half of the aspect of the spectacle in a way, to where this is just like cool. Whatever Daemon's plan here is. But anyways, so this is funny. So if you remember, paying off the weird Viz only mistranslation retcon. If you remember the one that I was talking about that Mello knew.
Yeah, but I forgot what it was word for word, but I remember that conversation.
It was Daemon knew your intent or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think I even have it in used topics like at the very beginning. Yeah, it's right here. That little devil can reflect all sorts of things if he senses even the slightest intent to kill. So this is me paying this off. So this is just my way of trying to fix this by incorporating it instead of removing it. Like, is there anything we could use here? Obviously, you don't have to use anything from this, but this is just my way. If we were going to use it, this is how I would use it. But paying that off, Daemon, independent from his reflectability, can also sense intent himself. Does that make sense, the way I explained that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Daemon knows how and when his ability will activate before it does. And maybe Daemon can like keep it in check and choose when to disable it, like the code fight, or when to have it on autonomously, like Obito's intangibility, however you want it to work, but either way. Daemon knew this would happen because he could sense Mamushi's intent, knowing it wasn't aimed towards Daemon for the intent to be reflected. This also pays off every panel of Daemon looking at Sarada and Sumire as if he already knew what they were thinking, like in like the first half of Two Blue Vortex or whatever, and even like towards the end of part 1 when they have like the assassination plan and Daemon's always giving them the side eye. And like Sarada and Sumire wondering, does he know? Does he know? But yeah, it pays off every moment because Daemon did know the whole time. But anyways, I don't, but I know what you're feeling, which is effectively almost the same thing, considering the overlap between the mind and the heart. In other words, you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. Is like a quote that Daemon could say. Could be cool.
I like the you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. line.
Isn't
like
that cool,
yeah.
bro? I know. Dude, I'm good at writing. I'm saying. Why aren't I an editor on Tubu Vortex?
Bro, if we were Ikibaro's editors, the story would be a lot better.
I know. Point 22.
I already forgot the rewrite, the best rewrite of all time that we did the other day, but I remember it was the best rewrite of all time. Oh, it's the Momoshiki thing, yeah.
Yeah. I did remember something else about the sword afterwards, but I guess we'll have to come back another time. Point 22. Daemon reveals he let one Mamushi get away to destroy the village to summon Jura, which only happens if Mamushi remembers Daemon and is more scared of Daemon than Jura. So that's why I had it written that way at top, even though I understood it was more extreme that way. So he's going to choose Jura's... whether it's summoning Jura or to die by Jura, either way this works, because either way you still need Mamushi more scared of Daemon than Jura for Daemon to do this. So that's why Daemon lets it get away after it's already scared of him. It was all intentional and part of Daemon's plan, which he knew because of his cracked intent sensory. But also, this is the only way to get Jura to come, because otherwise Jura would just never come in this rewrite version of the story. Because it'd be similar, it's what they would explain for whatever Jura didn't come to save Ryu and Matsuri. He just, like, let them die. He was literally watching. So
I know.
Yeah, however you want to get there. But anyways, Daemon reiterates he took it seriously from the start, because I want that to be really reiterated for people like Ryzen out there. But Daemon didn't want to kill Mamushi immediately, like they all know he could have with just his hands, rather than to reflect, I mean, like with taijutsu, he could just like solo them one at a time. Because he needed to push Mamushi far enough to feel the need to evolve without devouring his target or chakra fruit. The implications also Shinju humanity bonus. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. So now this could be why Jura comes, because he's intrigued. A Shinju just evolved without devouring their target. That's the reason Jura's coming.
Which, I mean, that Jura can bounce that off of what he said to Kawaki at the end of the Stand arc about, like, how they evolved without, well, because of love. And obviously, in Momoshi's case, it's not because of love, but they still evolved nonetheless.
Yeah. I feel like, in a way, I'm almost making this like Gojo versus Jogo, their first fight in season 1. To where it's like, Gojo
Yeah.
could have been in it at any time, but like, he's purposefully
He's teaching
letting
things
Jogo
to Yuji. Like,
yeah, exactly. Which I think is so cool. But yeah, obviously he could have killed all 200 Mamushi clones instantaneously, just vaporize them all at once if he wanted to. But he purposefully let it evolve by pushing them as far as he did, almost like training Mamushi in a way, which is kind of funny. Which could also there'd be another conversation there between like what Daemon did versus what Koji's doing with like future training or whatever. It's like, kinda cool.
Scare training. Training.
Yeah. In other words, Mamushi accepted himself for who he truly was. Inferior to Daemon, like he always was, even in his previous life as Bug. In fact, Daemon can say that's specifically why he kicked out Mamushi's teeth first thing, as opposed to doing anything else. In fact, you could have him go out of his way. He was specifically not targeting the eyes for that exact reason, rather than out of carelessness or whatever. Not that it even mattered in the first place, but... So there's multiple layers here, because obviously he could have attacked the eyes, but again, in the long term, it wouldn't have mattered regardless, because if he just beats down the clones and the clones split off and they're already like crippled, then at that point the crippled clones are crippled and don't matter. So regardless, there's like multiple layers of revelation here. But he may have changed, but that has remained the same, and it always will, no matter what. In reference to, even if Mamushi grows, he'll always be below Daemon. And it's almost like Kabuto accepting who he needed to be to escape the Izanami, like Itachi wanted. Mamushi accepted this aspect of himself, and that gets into Mamushi's identity, which is so important, bro. He accepted the newfound... I feel like this might be a typo. He gained... Sorry, not accepted. So it wasn't a typo. He gained the newfound human experience, will of fire, soul, precious person, love, mental lamp, or whatever you want to call it.
The identity app.
The identity app, exactly, yeah. So do you like that as like a way they could evolve without their target, first of all? Accepting
Conceptually, yeah.
It's kind of that especially
it's tough
works.
to say which way I like it, because to some extent,
Sure.
well, okay, in this case it works because Mamushi didn't like... I don't know that I like the idea of like Mamushi transforming into this whole new thing, because for what's been... He's not like Mahito, to where he has like transformation abilities in that sense, to where... But in his case, what he does is he just pushed past his limits. That's the evolution we're speaking of, and that seems completely reasonable. The same with that Naruto pushed past his limits versus Gaara because of his Predictor's Trident Amp and the Shaman took out the Shadow Clones and all this shit he's never done before. Like,
well,
so I
here's
think
what
it's
I'm
totally
saying.
reasonable. It's also like the most human evolution we've ever seen. Like, there's always those mental amps do these things like that. So in that sense, I think that works good. It depends on what you mean when you say evolve. And if you see evolve in that sense, I think that's totally fine. Works well. And then in this case of Bug/Mushi, it'd be similar to what Itachi said about accepting one's flaws. If you write some Bug backstory to where, like, I mean, it sounds silly, but like, she was just obsessed with being stronger than David or whatever, you just accepted that he doesn't need that, like, that's very simplified, but you can do that or twist it however you want. But
yeah, you could go with flaws, make it more like Kabuto. I like the idea of identity, since that's the core idea.
But it's related in this case, like because Itachi's saying to accept one's identity means you have to acknowledge one's flaws.
Sure.
It's part of your, like,
that's fair. That's fair. But I do think this does work as a way, because like, why do they have their target in the first place? It comes back to their identity, obviously. If they devour their target, they might learn something about themselves. realize and maybe accept their identity, and that's when they evolve. In fact, that's why in this case they would evolve from devouring their target. So it's almost like now this is the revelation of why they evolve from devouring their target, and oh, you don't need to devour your target, you just need to do this other thing that devouring your target would give you. But also keep
If
in
it would
mind,
even give it.
will just accept themselves, their identity. Well, keep in mind that they're humanoid Shinju, so they're like two different things. So first of all, they aren't humans. So whereas yes, they can be pushed to their limit, they're the Divine Tree, they're the Tin Tails. The Tin Tails has literal physical transformations. So I think it's totally fair.
Yeah.
This isn't Mamushi just being pushed to his limits. He's literally evolving. It's the exact same thing he would have done if he devoured Ada. He can have a literal physical transformation. He's a Tin Tails. He can do that. So that's where I was like coming at it from, like as that angle.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
So
The only
like it
thing
would
is
be like
just
Mahito.
that I don't know if I it just depends on how it's executed, because sometimes I can feel like he gets a transformation off of just being pushed to his limits. It just depends on how it's executed, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this case, it's technically not being pushed to his limits. It's accepting who he is.
Yeah.
He needed to be pushed to his limits to accept who he is. Because,
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. Devouring a target is easy. That's why they're doing it. Being pushed to your limits, that's harder. That's why they don't want to do it. It's going back to, like, the idea of, like, the simple path versus the hard path. You know, Boruto versus Momoshiki's path. Or, like, Indoor as a ninja versus whatever else. Kawaki's path.
So I'm not saying he has to transform into a little bug, and I'm not saying he needs to transform into Bug the human. What I am saying is that what I think should be the case if you're doing transformation is that his transformation somehow, I don't care how at the moment, it somehow visually and symbolically represents his identity. So if his identity is to be a bug, then I want him to look like Shino's insects. If his identity is just going to be Bug the human, then it'll look like Bug. If it's going to be he's a race car driver, then he's going to look like that. My point is, it will visually represent his identity. That's his final appearance in this case.
Okay. Yeah, and again, it doesn't have to have a physical transformation. I just thought you could do it if you wanted.
I'm saying, but if you do that, I actually think in that case it works well for the narrative to have a physical transformation that reflects the identity he's accepted.
Yeah. See, I personally prefer evolution over just push to or past their limits, because that's, first of all, showing the difference between a human and a humanoid Shinju. These are again, like alien, weird creatures that aren't human. I feel like you could play into that aspect, like they did with Kaguya at the end of Naruto. What Naruto says to Hagoromo, that like fighting Kaguya, that's the first time he fought someone that it felt like she was totally heartless, is what Naruto says, or something along those lines. Which is interesting, considering he fought Kakuzu, but...
Well, I mean, to be fair, Kakuzu had
he had more heart than any of us. That's hilarious too. But that's also like extra interesting because Kaguya is like crying over her children and stuff. Like, it's weird that Naruto.
Well, to be fair, Naruto did not fight Hidan or Zetsu. I guess he kind of did, but
yeah. No, I mean, there is curious, like, talk to Kishimoto about that idea of Kaguya's like persona and stuff.
It's really funny that's for Naruto to really think like how heartful did Kakuzu really come across to Naruto there.
But yeah, I also like this idea just going forward, not because once again, this not only answers the question what happens when a Shinju evolves. Now we don't need any Shinju to devour their target. We have our answer. We see it. But also, this opens the case to where any Shinju going forward can evolve without devouring the target. Yeah. So you don't need that consequence there. But likewise, this means that likely will happen to where now they have to defeat the evolved Shinju version of that Shinju. So, and this is especially interesting going forward, probably in the next arc with Sarada versus Hidari, about like Hidari's question, who are you? Well, if the whole idea about evolution is about identity, that obviously paves the path forward for that arc so easily.
Yeah, so obviously you could still say, well, if you want there to be a difference between when you devour versus this method, then you could write, as an example, Mamushi devours, but Hidari does the identity thing, and there's a difference that you want to display. You could do that, but if you don't want to do that, yeah, you're right. That you don't need to devour him because, and this also make it very easy for you to write Hidari evolving to fight Sarada later on.
Yeah.
So that would work in that sense for sure.
So I have 3 more points here since we already did 28. So try to get through this. Okay, so like I said before, Daemon took it seriously from this. This is the 3rd time I'm saying this. You really want me to know that I'm really saying this. But Daemon says,
to be fair, I did something similar but on steroids with my Chocho rant, where I was like, I was just funny how many times I reiterated a certain something to make a point.
But again, there's like reasons that I'm bringing up. Like it's the same idea, but with different conclusions. So in this case, Daemon is taking it seriously from the start, but Daemon had to pretend to hold back for his plan to work seriously, like it did. But so that on its own, you agree with that's not only cool, but that works and is consistent with everything that we've gone so far.
Yeah, I mean the only question is just what exact is his plan with your hair? Is he gonna fight him? Like you haven't gotten to it yet.
We'll get to that, yeah. And again, there's multiple paths you could go. And again, that gets back to what I was saying down here. No matter where you go, it doesn't matter. So this means Daemon's plan is flexible because it can fit no matter what you do. Anyways, going back to here. Yeah, so like I was saying, Daemon was taking it seriously from the start, but he had to pretend to hold back for his plan to work. But Daemon admits on top of that, Daemon knew this and graciously accepted himself having fun. Daemon, this is also like identity thing. Daemon accepted himself from the beginning, whereas so Daemon didn't change, whereas Mamushi did change. And that could also be like narratively why Daemon won, whereas Mamushi didn't. But he didn't fake that. He knew he had to do it for his plan, and that's what he prefers anyways. So he genuinely did, truly, just have fun nonchalantly. Daemon got to coincidentally not take it seriously, while simultaneously taking it seriously. If that makes sense. I think it does. I guess the equivalent would be like if, like, early Boruto had a mission to go to a water park and had fun. Like, yeah, he's gonna do that mission. He's gonna take it seriously. By doing exactly what he wanted to do anyways. I guess would be the equivalent. Are you there? You keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. 26. Maybe it can be a thing to where only at 1,000 clones would the simultaneous head pop thing work. And that's why he needed the clones to do that. That's just an extra additional layer on top. You don't need this for everything else to work, but I'm just adding this as like one more like plot layer for why Daemon waited until specifically 1,000. So Amato's theory became true, but didn't start true, which I think is the more developed, interesting answer for like that question posed at the beginning of this chapter, answered at the end here. As they did have their own splint consciousness at first, which also like explains the inconsistencies with how they seemingly have their own consciousness in the first like couple chapters of this arc. But at 1,000 clones, it stretched too thin, or the evolution evolved into one hive mind, which is also like a different possibility or whatever. But like I like the idea at 1,000, it stretched so thin, that consciousness, to where I don't like this because it implies Daemon couldn't take them all out at once, same time, like if he wanted to, despite him being able to body them all with Taiji. Yeah, okay. So, to where, like, at 1,000, it's one consciousness, but it's stretched so thinly across 1,000 clones to where that's why it pops. Because at 1,000, there's no room for, like, unique identity. It's all the same Mamushi at that point, if that makes sense. Or you could just have it be to where it's, like, the evolution changed that to where it is a hive mind is another possibility.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think I might just prefer that it just is the same start to finish in that one regard, but it wouldn't not
Yeah,
work.
because if it's not, then Daemon couldn't do the touch data and all the
Yeah, and it messes up the whole he could have done this at any time thing, first of all. But second of all,
I just do prefer that he just can do it at any time.
Exactly. Well, he could still like body them with taijutsu anytime. It'd be specifically the hand touch Ada thing.
Yeah, but like I want the reflection to apply there too.
Yeah. Obviously, the reflection still works the same. He could still reflect any individual one of them, or multiple of them at the same time if they all try and attack him at the same time. It's the exact same way it would be in the chapter itself, rather than the way I'm taking it. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
But point 27, the last point. Sarada or Delta or whoever says Daemon didn't need to pretend, and Daemon misunderstanding the doublespeak, saying he didn't, similar to Boruto saying Kawaki didn't train, and Delta saying more like, how much did you train? I forgot the first part of this, but the point is something like that to reference the example.
Well, yeah, I'm confused, but
well, I don't blame you, because I had a point here, but I forgot what it was, and I was hoping that would come to me in the moment. So let me reread this. Sarada or Delta or whoever says Daemon didn't need to pretend, and Daemon misunderstanding the doublespeak, saying he didn't. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense, but I forget how. It definitely makes sense.
Well, it sounds like they're saying you didn't need to pretend, Daemon, and Daemon's saying I didn't pretend, and I don't really see how that's really comparable to the Kawaki Delta board.
Yeah, it's because there was going to be a line that like Delta or Sarda said after this that was going to be similar of like, oh, you like doubly pretended or something. I forget. I forget what it was going to be, but it was going to be really cool. But yeah, I thought that was just like one more additional thing. I was like, just maybe like an epilogue part of the chapter. But yeah, just make it all fit into one chapter. I think you can if Ikimoto just does it correctly. That's including the double page spread. Obviously, I didn't touch Jura. So there's multiple different routes we could go with Jura, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So obviously I cut it off here because we don't know what Ikimoto's going to do next. And again, no matter what direction Ikimoto goes in, it can work. So I have 3 different possibilities for how it's going to work out. Yeah,
I thought it would have been funnier if you said this. No matter what direction he goes, it's not going to be mine.
No matter what direction it goes, it's not going to be as good as what I wrote.
It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. Yes. So I have 3 different options of what Jura's going to do. Well, technically 4. I'll just start with the 4th one I just thought of right now. Jura's just going to crash out because the village is destroyed. And he's just going to destroy everything. The world! And then I guess Sam is going to go fight him. Whatever you want to do there. So the 3 possibilities that I have, and again, you can come up with your own outside of the 4th I just listed, but ignoring that one. 3 possibilities is this is just the end of the fight. And Jura realized what he realized, and like I guess narratively the reward is Jura's gonna retreat for now in the same way that he retreated at the end of the previous arc. I guess previous 2 arcs.
They must have been a recurring theme.
Exactly. He's gonna take his newfound knowledge and he's gonna go back. He's gonna forgive the village being destroyed and Daemon's plan or whatever. He's gonna forgive it all because of the knowledge that he gained from Mamushi evolving. And he's just going to read a couple books for a couple chapters while Hidari invades. And he's going to wash, rinse, repeat the exact same idea next arc, probably. He's just going to watch Hidari die, then retreat at the end of the arc. So that's one option. Jura just takes the Soul Thorn back and he just goes away and Mamushi's gone forever. The second option, Jura retreats with the Soul Thorn, but he's going to replant Mamushi, and Mamushi's just going to come back, and they're going to continue the arc literally right where Ikimoto left off. There's going to be 1,000 clones again, and it's just going to continue wherever Ikimoto's going with the story. Maybe the clones devour Ada, I don't care. That's the next chapter's problem, that regardless of this chapter. However you want to get that. Whatever off-guard Mamushi thing he's going to do to Ada, whatever, I don't care. Ignore that for now. It's a possibility. The third option, I did think of another one as well. Third option, Mamushi's going to go back, and this is going to be very sweet. Now that Mamushi's evolved, Jura himself, not anyone else, Jura is going to put the Soul Thorn in Bug's tree and free Bug. I think that's like, there's like a lot of heart and meaning in that without even needing to say anything. Mamushi evolved, he did everything he needed to do, not just for Jura, but for himself. Bug has accepted his identity. Mamushi doesn't need to come back. And Bug doesn't need to be stuck in the tree.
I mean, that could be interesting for Jura's character that he chooses to do that.
Well, that could also be another thing. Jura could make that choice as a result of this arc and the
Yeah,
actions there.
and seeing what Mamushi's identity is.
Yeah, well, that's to say narratively. I guess because of Mamushi, in which case the reward narratively is because Daemon and the others forced Mamushi into that position. But I like the idea it's because of Daemon and the protagonist. But I guess technically it is either way, just directly versus indirectly in that case. But like the reward would be Daemon or Jura choosing this at the end instead of choosing something else. In which case,
I think Jura probably works better for this idea, but I might as well say this. Another thing you could do that'd be interesting is Jura actually never shows up, at least not in time here. It's actually Code who appears in front of the Mamushi to free Bug. They kind of have that like Code
to force Code out in this case for whatever
repenting of his actions on it. It's just like to save Bug, you know, he's gonna be just like nice.
That's a completely possible option. Completely, yeah. So you just instead of Jura, just Code, and then you can go from there with whatever.
And you have Code listen to the whole thing through his claw marks, like he heard it all, and it spoke to Code a little bit. Like
it'd be kind of cool if he's like
Code think about it.
It'd be cool if he's like not like a hostage situation, but he's like bartering with either the Leaf Village or Jura. I'll give you Mamushi Soulthorn if you give me something else in exchange. That'd be cool.
Okay, yeah. What do they have for him?
I don't know. Like I don't know. Like what would Code ask for?
Give me Koji.
I guess for Jura it'd be give me the chakra food, except Jura already said he'd give it to him, and he doesn't have one yet. So I guess he just give it to Jura.
They just, oh yeah, give me the chakra fruit, like, and I don't have to kill Boruto anymore. That's your job.
Maybe he'd exchange it for like a deal rather than something physical, like Jura, allow me to destroy half of the village, or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's actually funny.
Yeah. But I guess the last possibility I had is, and this goes to the theory that we had at the end of the chapter, anyways. Instead of going back with Mamushi, Jura is here. Jura's coming to the battlefield. And then you could just go from wherever there. So Jura's just gonna arrive, and it's replace Mamushi with Jura, whatever you want to do there, whether Jura's here to talk, whether Jura's here to snipe Sarada's eye, whether Jura's here to fight Daemon, and that was Daemon's plan.
I like the idea. He's gonna talk. He's just gonna snipe Sarada's eye real quick. She has to be a dick, and then he's gonna go right back to talking. Sarah didn't even do anything right.
In this case, yeah.
He's just gonna do it.
Mello would have a field day with that. Jura needed to do. He was scared of Sarada.
He's not scared of David, but he's scared of Sarada, is what he'd say.
Yeah. Obviously, I think this would work best for Daemon's plan if he's trying to summon Jura here to fight Jura. But
another fun idea. So Daemon just happens to be lined up angularly in front of Sarada for this. So Jura tries to snipe Daemon. Daemon just like dodges, he ducks his head to snipe the dog, and Sarada just gets hit in the crossfire. Just hits her in the eyes.
That would be funny. Or somehow, I don't know how, but somehow it reflects onto Jura. Onto Sarada. I think that actually works best. Yeah, like maybe Sarada tries to use her Mangekyo Sharingan on Jura. Daemon, just like he did Boruto, he goes to touch Jura, and so it reflects onto Sarada's eye. Her eye explodes.
Yeah, just like, yeah, I'm fighting Jura, not you.
Exactly. I love it. No, but I think that probably is probably like the option I would choose is we would. Well, I don't know, because as cool as it is to have like the next chapter be Daemon versus Jura, narratively I like the other options I listed better probably.
I agree. I like Jura choosing to free Bug.
Yeah, that's the most sweet one. Did you have any other Jura or other ways this could go from here? Because I think you agree, no matter where Ikimoto goes, I've left this core idea open enough to where it all works and can lead into wherever Ikimoto wants to go.
Well, I mean, I feel like ignoring the, I guess, glaring. Okay, so if you kind of just end the arc here with like Mamushi, like Daemon teaches Mamushi this character arc, and Jura also changes because of that freeze. It's very sweetheart. I like this in any, but there's one. elephant in the room. It's that who the fuck's the protagonist of this arc and what the fuck did they do? Because if it's Unogene, god damn it, he didn't do shit. If it's Boruto, he did even less shit than that. Damon's not the protagonist, seemingly. Unless he is now, but it's just like, this was great, but like, what was this arc at the same time?
Well, Kamui, I have an answer to that, in which case I think the answer is gonna satisfy you. Kamui, shut up.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say Mabushi. He's the protagonist of the arc. We just didn't know that.
Yes, it works. Yeah, but I think that's just like, it's its own conundrum that's bad regardless. But hey, that's an art
to be
problem,
fair,
not a
that's an
problem.
unsolvable problem at this point.
Yeah, I cannot fix that in a single chapter.
You can't even fix it in a single arc. It's that messed up at this point.
Yes. No, but I love the 1, 2, 3 thing building up to the, because it's not just shut up out of nowhere. I think shut up was the first idea I had, and I built the 1, 2 up to it to where the third is like built on top of it in this cool way. Obviously, Damon's fighting in this fighting style. He has control from the very beginning, especially if he's doing all this to lure Jura out, and this is the only way to do it. And there's like 10 different steps and revelations in this plan, and Damon knew it from the get-go. And he's been fight like, he doesn't just mentally know it, he physically is dominating in a way to where he controls the fight to get to that reality. I think that's so cool. Everything I did here, I love it. But thoughts on everything here? All 28 points it goes?
You already know I'm down for like 99% of what we've discussed. We've only added to it. Yeah, this would be better. Ignoring the protagonist question that just applies regardless. This is just better in every way. It's cooler. We added actual narrative to the idea that I don't think they're ever gonna do.
We've also added the hype spectacle thing that makes this feel special, in my opinion. I mean, do you agree? Did I add enough, or would you do more? Did I do too much, arguably? Like how does this compare to other?
No, because
like,
half of this wasn't. I mean, I think the most extreme things you did were the village on fire.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be. It could just be Mamushi gets to the village, and because Mamushi got to the village and is willing to destroy it, Jura comes out to stop him. There's just another possibility.
Yeah. The other one would be the Mamushi wanted to die so bad, and he just wanted Jura to kill him. That's the other one I think might be too extreme.
That's
but
fair. Now, I love that because it's only glazing Damon in the best kind of way.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
it's going too far.
I don't think the fight thinks too much. Like the I thought all the fight ideas were cool, where you just run around the circle really fast, and like when Mamushi tries to go, he just gets seesawed. I mean, I added in if he stays in the circle, he gets tornado. Like, why not? Because the point is he's supposed to be like this ridiculously OP. He just has all these ridiculous, stupid shit that he's doing, and he's not even doing it with his ability. He's just doing it by being strong. And like, I'm trying to think of an example of something very similar that I just can't think of right now. But like, yeah, I think that just does work for what he's established to be in this case. And we didn't just have him flex. You know, it ultimately got him to a narrative. Whether or not anyone likes the narrative or not, at least it has one. And that's important. Like, it's doing something in the end. So, like, I feel like you covered your bases. And personally, I think my favorite thing is actually still my target is you with the crouching down.
Yes, especially getting that at the beginning of the fight. And again, like, the narrative, it's not just the moment. It's the moment before and after this, because the idea, Mamushi is terrified of Damon now. In fact, I think there was something that I didn't write here that I meant to write here and I forgot to. It was going to be the idea that, in fact, I kind of did write it, but didn't write it. It was the idea that whereas Mamushi is like instinctually, he's scared of Jura. Yeah, okay, it was this right here. He's scared of Jura on an instinctual level.
Yeah, but Damon's just death, like.
Yeah, I try to like think of other ways to write that to where, because obviously Mamushi's getting dumber, So I feel like there's something you could do with that, maybe, to where he's scared of Daemon, like, when he's smart, but he's scared of Juro when he's dumb, but, like, maybe when he's dumb, he's, like, extra terrified of Daemon. Like, there's different ways you could go about it. Or, like, maybe, like, he's, like... Maybe he's... Like, because okay, maybe you just remove the scared of Juro on an instinctual level, and okay, maybe this is a limit to Mamushi's ability. Mamushi can this might work for like how we get to the 200 is this limit, but 1000 he gets to that through evolution or whatever. Instead of that, he could get to 1000 at any time, but he doesn't want to do that because he knows if he goes too dumb, then he's gonna forget his fear of Juro. But for Daemon, it's on an instinctual level. So we're just changing it from Juro to Daemon, and he's just normally scared of Juro. And he doesn't want to get too scared because
I honestly, yeah, I kind of might just prefer that, especially with this idea in mind.
Okay, yeah, because that limits Mamushi the whole time. He has to be mindful not to go above too many clones. If he does, his clones will destroy the village, and Juro will kill him.
I also think instinctually fearing Daemon makes sense with Bug because you have Juro instinctually being drawn to Naruto and all these other things, like, so that just would fit that idea. It's just fear instead of devouring, but it's the same idea. It's where their mind is focused on. So that would make sense. Real quick before I forget it, I'll admit I don't really think you can do both the My Target Is You line and this, but just another idea that I think is kind of cool, and it does work with your identity thing about like who Bug has always been, would be like your target is Ada, like since becoming a figure out how you want to phrase the first part. It's the idea here. The second part will be the wording specific. It's like since becoming a tree, Ada became your target. Okay, how do we get to this? And then David saying, like, but Mamushi or Bug, you've always been my target. It's just like that's who you always are and always have been and always will be, basically. The boys, like, you've always been my target. It's kind of a cool line that gets at that idea, but I do think the My Target Is You is cooler.
I do think I like My Target Is You, yeah. Because that's more like spur of the moment. Like anyone who goes after my sister, I'll do like a breakneck decision. I'll go after them in a heartbeat. Like, you're nothing to me if you don't go after my sister. But the moment you do, your target is me. Or whatever. Be target? Yeah. I be target. Whatever. I forget which way. Whichever way it is. Oh, it's so good. Because especially starting with that, you're already giving them something, but this is firmly planting them in the seat and giving them what they came for. This is like the opening hook of a movie. Now they're sat down, they've bought into the premise, and they're eager and anticipated, excited to watch what else you've got in store. And that's exactly what you give them. You deliver on it. That's why this works so well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very good idea. All the ideas in this.
Yes.
It's just better.
Yeah, I think this might be tied with the Boruto shut up line for me. Either that or it's number 2. But the Boruto shut up, especially being the climax, if you want to have it there, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, the double page spread thing definitely, spread. Especially with my like sound delay idea.
Yeah.
Is so good, dude.
I know. Yes, bro.
A lot of really good in here. Like,
well, I'm glad I finally got to do this topic, and you probably should go. Did you have any final words?
Well, the funny thing is, first of all, I am super sleepy and I should just go. But a lot of this, again, I shouldn't do it. But a lot of this whole topic, it's just made me want to do my JoJo rant.
It's okay. We both know how long it is. We can start with it next time. Listen, you told me at 12, no matter where we are, cut you off even if you want to keep going. I feel like pre 12 o'clock Kamui would want me to do this right now.
I know, especially where I am already sleepy. It's just...
Well, okay, well, there you go. That's more an incentive to not do the topic right now. Because you're excited to do the Chocho topic. Do you really want sleepy Kamui to present it, or would you rather excited Kamui present
Well,
it?
the
Which
problem
was
is
the
I would
big
get
better?
excited and no longer be sleepy.
Oh, well, okay, that makes it even worse because that means not only are you staying up to the topic, you'll be awake even longer because you're excited.
Exactly. Out of curiosity, this is my compromise. Can we count how many messages it
Yes.
is?
We can do that.
I think our topics, our average topic light has only gone up over time.
Okay.
It starts with like, how did I? No, keep going up, keep going up. I started in a really funny way.
Got a bone to pick.
Oh
with
yeah,
Jojo,
I've got a bone to pick with Josh.
Okay, so this is 1. Okay, so this is 2. I'm assuming this is the same thing. Maybe this is it.
Yeah, it keeps going. I think you interrupted at
Jojo,
one point.
okay.
It keeps going.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was actually because I moved some of
3.
the stuff in case you didn't see. So this is 3. And this is 4.
4.
Yeah, so here's.
It might.
Because-
Yeah. Then I keep going.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not-
Because I thought you were. Because you said you were. Done, and then
I
you said
was,
you
and
were,
then very
"No, I'm
soon
not
after
done."
came up with more.
Okay, that's hilarious. That's 5. Technically 6. Okay. Yeah,
You know what?
6.
No, I'm not done. Honestly, this last one is huge. And this is the one where I said I really like. You can even see in the caps lock there how much I emphasized a certain 2 words that go together. Kept saying it caps over and over again. I just capped.
And
This one's actually though a really good point. I think
well,
that whole big message.
we should probably save it for next time.
I don't know why that's gonna be.
Well, Friday, right? Because the J thing, and then we'll just probably keep going before.
Well,
after.
how long that is, but
I mean that's not long from now, at the very least. I know that's not what you meant, but but there you go. All right. Well,
we didn't fail, but someone definitely did.
it wasn't Daemon, and it wasn't my version of Mamushi, but it was the person
And
who
it
wrote
wasn't
them.
Kimimaro, it wasn't Madara, but it was someone.